Hello, Tammy. How are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing good. And hi, Tara. Hi, Eve. Welcome. Thank y'all so much for being here for our Duggar discussion.
Yes.
I'm super
Hello.
excited. Yeah, I'm excited to have it. There's been so much coming out these last
It,
few days.
it has been. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like it
so
exploded.
And I think because, well, I think a lot of things have probably come out over time in the years, but now that like this has happened, I think a lot more people and channels feel comfortable sharing more of the stuff that they've had and
Right.
thoughts that they've had, maybe
Yeah.
things that they were holding into, not kind of wanting to maybe say certain things yet about the family. But
Right.
now that
Yeah.
the son is arrested and daughter-in-law, and they have it's 8 charges, I believe, each the false imprisonment, and then uh, we said it right before. What was it? False imprisonment and
Uh,
endangerment,
endangerment. Yep.
and then he has the one in Florida, so he'll be extradited there. Hello. So we are going to be looking at a interview. Well, not an interview, but a news segment, and it's the law and I think it was law. Let me see. Law and Crime Network. So
Law
it's
and
that
crime.
just
Okay.
yeah, it's I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up so you can just kind of see the screen. But I want to go ahead and look at this one because it's kind of a mixture of they talk a little bit about Josh Duggar when he got arrested, and then they also talk about Joseph Duggar. So I kind
Okay.
of like that they talked about both of them because I wanted to bring up more on Josh last time. So,
Okay.
and we weren't really able to find much.
No.
So let me see. Let me add it to the stage.
It's kind of like his brother's arrest was overshadowing his, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, it did because usually you can kind of find stuff pretty easily. It's not that hard to find it still, but this was pretty hard to find anything. And I do remember seeing where police had went to a dealership and spoke to him one time, and you could see him talking to them. And I could not find that footage this time. I could only find where they have him in the interrogation. So I also have that pulled up and saved for later. But right now I kind of, mainly brought up the stuff where it talks about him, his brother, and then a little bit of Kendra, but kind of just his brothers and sisters and their thoughts
Yeah.
and comments on it too. So,
Okay.
but let's go ahead and see. Hi, Dad. How are you doing? I would just say Claude, but you're my dad. My
That's
dad.
right. It's kind of weird, ain't it?
Right.
Calling you
But
dad.
let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start running this as people kind of come in, and then we'll kind of pause it. It's 33 minutes long. So, but is there anything that you've kind of watched over the days before we get into like this kind of interview-ish clip, if and just like anything that caught you saw that is interesting or caught your eye?
Well, I did think that the when they I seen a couple of things. I haven't got to watch the videos, but I seen where they said that she was like when they arrested her, she's now like what is it called where you she has to keep her distance like
Hmm.
from certain, but it didn't go into detail like keep her distance from who. I guess I'm
Right.
assuming from the family and that
Yeah,
child.
what I saw is that it was supposed to be that she's not able to contact, I believe, her own family. So,
Oh, her own family.
right,
Okay.
and the only thing that and I guess it would just kind of be assumption at this point really, but I mean if she had the 4 endangerment and 4 imprisonment charges for her own, I they could just have them until that gets worked out
Right.
possibly. I don't know
That's
who would
true.
have taken the children. Yeah,
Yeah.
but her yeah, so I don't know. I was gonna bring something else up, but that hasn't been proven yet, so I didn't wanna bring that up yet,
Yeah.
actually. So I'll
And
wait for
then I
that.
seen where they searched the house and they found some stuff in there, but I didn't get to watch the video, so I'm not sure what they found exactly other
Right.
than the locks or the
Yeah.
kids being locked in. I don't know if there was anything else.
Anything else? Yeah, I'm gonna look through that one a little bit after that because I have a bunch of more videos, I've been looking through that I wanna share at different
Right.
points and kind of progress and just go through the different phases with this family and different things that because there's different, family members who have been charged with other things too.
Right.
So one was the brother, and he had like some kind of crime where he was rather pretending to be a contractor. It was something along that lines. Tara sent it to me, so I kind of started watching that, but I didn't get to finish. So
Very interesting.
yeah, but just a few things where it's not just SA crimes. There's a lot of different things coming out of this particular family. and
Like
someone
scams, kind of like different
scams.
things.
Yeah, lots
Yeah.
of scams, just lying, manipulating, deceiving. Um,
Hmm.
so I thought that was pretty interesting. So,
Hi, Ronnie.
how are y'all?
Glad you're here.
Good. Yeah, very
Very
shady.
shady. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this one, and then let me see where it's at. Okay.
Joseph Duggar is calling you from Washington County Detention.
You've been here before? No, that's that.
He had to think about it.
This is bombshell news. Yet another member of the Duggar clan of 19 kids and counting fame is facing criminal charges. Kendra Duggar was arrested just days after her husband Joseph was taken into custody. So now we're going to break down both of the cases against him, including newly released jailhouse phone calls that provide a whole other level to these cases. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
I think they were taught to do a lot of things in the Bible study classes, Ronnie.
Following us here on Sidebar,
Hide
you know
everything
that we
on
talk about
behind it.
expose the dangers in the world, but what
Yeah,
about this?
especially the boys. I feel like the boys took a lot of extra studies that the girls probably weren't taking. I just wanted to say that real quickly.
Do you know that like a total stranger can find and use anything about your private life? Yeah, your name, your phone number, your address, it's all out there, which is why I want people who follow Sidebar to keep your data safe online. Our sponsor, Incogni, tracks down all these old posts and parenting style employed by Jim, Bob, and Michelle. They're devout independent Baptists who adhere to strict rules when it comes to dressing modestly.
I don't have like the little fast forward one on here for some reason.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Since the show was canceled.
Yeah,
by
you can
TLC
usually
in
skip it like 10
2015,
seconds back.
A lot. Okay. That was born to parents Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, who became famous for the huge number of children they had, 19 in total, with those children then getting married and having their own kids, expanding the family, expanding the clan. But over the last decade or so, since the show was canceled by TLC in 2015, a lot has come out about the family, their controversial beliefs about sex and dating, the sometimes, questionable parenting style employed by Jim, Bob, and Michelle. They're devout independent Baptists who adhere to strict rules when it comes to dressing modestly, not allowing their children to date before marriage, homeschooling, their way to live. But the controversy wasn't just about, this is a different way of living than maybe a lot of people are accustomed to. It's what happened next. It's when it entered into the criminal realm. You see, the success of the show, which, by the way, consistently saw viewership in the millions after its launch in 2008, it was darkened when it came to light that Josh Duggar, the oldest of the children, had molested several young girls, including his own sisters. Josh was accused of touching the girls' breasts and genitals over their clothing, sometimes
Oh
when they
no,
were
here we go
asleep,
again.
sometimes when they were awake. It also came to light that Jim, Bob, and Michelle, they were accused of knowing about these allegations against Josh as early as 2002. This is according to reporting from Vox, but to be clear, didn't officially notify anyone in law enforcement. That was the allegation. And when rumors started swirling in 2015 about Josh's actions, police investigated, and they determined that the statute of limitations had expired, right? So the claims were too old. They were time.
There you go.
This is
That we
according
were
to the
thinking
Washington
about
Post.
that, Megan,
Well,
earlier.
Josh ended up releasing a statement apologizing.
Yeah. We were saying, and so he just basically mentioned what we were kind of saying about the time frame on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting too. I was wondering what they were going to do for the time frame on that one.
For his actions.
Yeah.
But then you fast forward to 2021, and Josh was arrested on federal charges of receiving and possessing child sexual abuse material, also known as CSAM. He went to trial, he was convicted, and he was sentenced to 12 years and 7 months in prison. His earliest release date would be in 2032. So you can see why it was shocking. So I say all that to now bring you up to speed with what's happening now. You could say, my gosh, this is shocking, when a second Duggar brother was also arrested in connection with child sex crimes. March 18th, the Bay County Sheriff's Office out in Panama City, Florida, announced they were charging 31-year-old Joseph Duggar, the Duggar's seventh child, with lewd and lascivious behavior. Joseph and his family, so wife Kendra and their 4 children, they were living in Arkansas. The sheriff's office said in a statement, quote, on March 18, 2026, Bay County investigators were contacted by a detective with the Tontatown Police Department regarding a report of past sexual abuse. The 14-year-old victim participated in a forensic interview where she disclosed several incidents involving Duggar that occurred during a family vacation in Panama City Beach when she was 9 years old. According to the investigation, the incidents took place in 2020 while the family was staying at a residence on Danny Drive. The victim reported Duggar repeatedly asked her to sit on his lap. As the vacation continued, he also asked her to sit next to him on a couch and covered them with a blanket. During this time, Duggar manipulated the victim's underwear and grazed her genitals. Duggar would also continue to rub his hands on her thighs. The victim stated Duggar eventually apologized for his actions, and the incident stopped after the apology. Investigators discovered the victim's father confronted Duggar about those incidents on March 17, 2026. Duggar admitted his actions to the victim's father and to Tontatown detectives. Duggar was arrested out of state and charged.
Yeah, and that's what they're saying, that the father came and said something to him. He admitted it. He got arrested. And that's why they think that he thought if he admitted it, like it was going to kind of go away. He didn't, because in the prison, they have a call of Joseph Duggar talking to someone and they think it's a bail bonds. And so he's basically asking the process of how to get out, you know, like how it's going to get out and then like his court date and then basically like kind of like something very easy after that. And the person's explaining to him his charges, like it's not that simple. And he gets real quiet. And so they're starting to say now, like, again, you know, he didn't realize, I think, completely what he was admitting to, how long he was probably going to be in jail for it, which is more than likely life in Florida. So that's what I thought.
So he thought he was just going to get a slap on the.
Yeah. Or like his brother, like when his dad finally took him to the police station, Josh Duggar, it was I don't know if it was a sheriff or a state trooper. I can't remember which police officer he took him to, but the person basically told him, you know, don't do it again. And if you ever do it again, Josh, like you're going to go to jail, you know, or I don't think he said jail. He said something will happen. He told him something will happen. And that was his slap on the wrist. He just basically apologized. So that makes me think that's what Joseph thought was going to happen to him in a way.
Yeah.
But that police officer got also charged for child porn later. And he's in jail.
That's why he's in prison now.
That's why he's in jail. And I thought it was interesting because that same police officer in jail came out later and said that he regretted never charging Josh and he lost sleep over it, but he's also a pedo. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Really?
You know, a pedo feeling like sorry for another, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what shows you what's going on in that whole religion system because he was also one of them. So.
Gotcha. I didn't know that. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So I thought that was, listen, I'm going to add all these. So we're going to go through all these. And then I have one episode where we're just going to watch all these crazy clips of different stuff pulled from the show that's completely awkward. So we're going to have a whole Duggar dumpster diving of that too.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah. I've been doing a lot of binge watching. So here we go.
Lewd and lascivious behavior, molestation of a victim less than 12 years old, and lewd and lascivious behavior conducted by a person 18 years or older. Duggar is currently awaiting extradition to Bay County. Yeah, according to the affidavit, based on reporting from people, there was this information that was relayed to a detective from the Tontatown Police Department. There was a request that the detective and the victim's father call the defendant, and on that call, Joseph allegedly admitted his actions, saying he touched the victim over her clothing and admitted his intentions were not pure. Now, you also have this video from Washington County. It kind of gives us a bird's eye view of Duggar getting booked and the angles of officers searching him and getting his information into the jail system. Take a look.
Anything on you in the city of Pokemon? No, that's all. And in pockets, what do you have in the city? No, nothing at all. Oh, sorry, I thought you said if I had anything on you. You said not in my pockets. I mean, yeah, immediately you got somewhere else. All right. Any injuries?
Well, I don't have anything to trade.
You been here before? No,
I agree, Ronnie.
That's what I think. Yeah.
My brother was.
And that kid's dad was like, hell no.
And they're the same religion as
I don't
Duggar?
think so. I don't think so. I don't. If it is, I don't think they're as extreme.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, because she's not able to contact her family at this moment. And that's all we know. So that's what I'm going off of. She's not able to contact them. And yeah, I don't want to go too much into yet who the victim might be, but if it
Right,
is
yeah.
that with them reporting it right away and going to like address him and confront him right away, they're obviously not in the same type of religion because they
That's what
wouldn't
I
have.
was thinking.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
wouldn't have put up. They would have just done the same thing, brushed it under the
Yeah.
rug, act like it didn't happen. So these are completely different people,
Yeah.
I think, in the way they view
With
that kind of behavior.
frame of thought. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, pepper spray that's over here. Oh, really? Yeah.
Just talking like their buddies.
Mm-hmm. And it always trips me out how these people are never upset, just
I
completely
know.
calm.
I know.
Shows you more how unstable they are.
I would be freaking out.
I'd be, well, yeah, we wouldn't be there to begin with, but if you were, you would
Right.
think you'd just be like a wreck, shaking like a leaf.
Right. Yeah. Why am I
Yeah.
here? I mean,
Yeah.
your dad. Hey, we're all up in there about it too. we feel the same.
Just check out TMZ. They got a bunch of updates.
They do, don't they? If you call them updates.
Yeah. Paid updates.
Yeah.
Paid advertising.
Right. Just clickbait. He's a skinny fella, ain't he?
Mm-hmm. I wonder
I
how
thought
tall
he
they
was-
are. I wonder if
I
they're
thought-
tall or not.
I thought he was bigger than that.
They might have been at one time, yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Tara. They are a disaster.
Mhm. And they all look like they ain't slept in like 20 years when you see them on TV, like, and they're giving their like little news segments.
I mean, dang,
Yeah,
who
they all
wants
look
to go to
horrible.
TMZ when you got somebody
Joseph made his
kidnapped?
first court
Not me.
appearance via Zoom. He was wearing a
Mm-mm.
jail jumpsuit. And according to the New York Times, Joseph waived his right to an extradition hearing, which clears the way for his transfer
Yeah.
out to Florida. The sheriff told WJHG in Panama City that it could take 1 to 2 weeks for Joseph to be processed and brought across the country. And once he's in Florida, he's going to have a hearing to see if a judge is willing to grant him a bond. We'll see if that happens. I want to talk about that a little bit more. Bay County Sheriff Tommy Ford told outlet WJHG, "We work, unfortunately, way too many of these types of cases. And I don't care if he's got a TV show or who he is or what he's done. He's committed an illegal act, and he's going to be held accountable for that."
Good.
Back in
Good.
Arkansas, though, 5 News.
I have to say,
part of a phone call.
Like,
that
and
Joseph
I like
made.
that Florida handles those kind of things. I feel like Texas and those kind of places do too. Like,
Yeah,
they're very
yeah.
like not beat around the bush about this kind of stuff.
Right.
So I like that about Florida.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
From the Washington County Jail. I want you to take a listen to this.
Hi there. This is Joe Duggar here.
Yeah.
Oh, here.
Hey, I'm over here at the Washington County
Yeah.
County Jail. I don't know if my dad mentioned it to you or not.
He don't know where he's at.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we needed to talk sometime about things or how the process works here on this side, or if you know anything more
Well,
than I do.
yeah. The only issue. Well, you're there. You're in custody pending the issuance of a governor's warrant by the state of Florida. And you can be held for 30 days. Now
Okay.
you may be entitled to bond. Have they talked to you about? I got my status.
Yeah.
Have
Sorry.
they talked about?
Nobody's
Have they talked to you about bond?
Nothing. No.
Okay. They haven't said they're going to bring you before a judge anytime soon.
No, nothing of that sort.
Okay. Yeah, that's the only issue you've got now while you're in Washington County. You want to be out. And you get ties to the community, you get your family here. I mean, the judge should set a bond, in which case you'll be out pending Arkansas receipt of a governor's warrant from Florida. It's called extradition, which you may have heard of, but
Okay.
but yeah, that's the only issue you got here in Arkansas. So
Okay. All right.
they should. And they should. I mean, you should appear before the judge for bond, but let me know if that happens.
Okay.
If not, we might be able to get you in front of a judge for that.
Okay.
You have 3 minutes remaining on this call.
I'll, I guess if that's it, I guess we'll just, yeah, if that's it, then I guess we can, circle back if we hear anything.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with this process since it's,
Okay.
the first time.
Well,
so-
if you, yeah, I understand. But if you bump into a deputy or something, say, ask if they're getting a bond hearing.
Okay. I'll ask that. All right. Thank you.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
The investigation didn't stop there.
How do you feel about that phone call? Just out of curiosity, like what feelings did you have from like how he was taking it in?
Well, I think he wasn't really acting like it was a big deal.
Like he doesn't understand completely, like the level,
Mm-mm.
like
Mm-mm.
that's what I'm saying. I feel like he's kind of unaware of the level of the process of everything that's going to happen
Yeah.
to him and where
Yeah.
he's going to and like what kind of things he's going to be charged with and how long. He just seems very naive to it all.
Yeah, he just thinks he's just going to be there for a little bit and then they're going to post bail and he's going to get out and probably get a slap on the wrist or something. I don't think he's taking it seriously.
Yeah, the call, it sounds like it's to like a type of bail bonds. That's what it sounds like. Or I don't think it's a lawyer. It could be, but I would think it's rather a lawyer or bail bonds.
Hmm.
I didn't hear. Did you hear who he said it was before he
I
started the phone
didn't.
call?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'll try to go back and see and add that, Ronnie. Just because I can't like go back a certain amount of seconds on here, and I don't want to jump around too much because I can't get back to where we were. But I will definitely look to see who it was that he called. But I would guess again a lawyer or bail bonds.
Yeah, that's what I would guess.
Mm-hmm.
Days later, new development. Authorities in Arkansas announced that Joseph's wife, 27-year-old Kendra, was also facing charges. The Taunton Police said it on Facebook. As a result of the continuing investigation, additional charges have been filed in this case against Joseph Duggar, age 31, and Kendra Duggar, age 27. Arrest warrants have been issued and served for the following misdemeanor offenses through district court: 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor, 2nd degree, 4 counts of false imprisonment, 2nd degree. This remains an active and ongoing investigation. Arkansas law strictly limits the information that may be released in cases involving minors and other sensitive circumstances to protect the integrity of the investigation and the privacy of those involved. No further details will be provided at this time. Now, Kendra was released Friday night on a bond of just under $1,500. That's according to the New York Times. It does become a question what we can expect from her case. I will tell you this. I want to tell you this. This is not an official confirmation. It's not like authorities have said this per se, but there is an alleged insider that apparently spoke to Us Weekly and claimed, again, this is from an alleged insider, that Joseph and Kendra's arrests are not related aside from this one allegedly triggering the other. So according to this insider, when Joseph was arrested, there was allegedly a welfare check that was triggered to make sure everything was okay at the home. And this insider told Us Weekly, quote, apparently they had 2 rooms where the lock of the doorknob was on the outside instead of the inside. They arrested her and took her kids for that, saying it's evidence that she wrongly detains her kids. It's unclear where Joseph and Kendra's 4 children are right now, whether they're in the state's custody, or with family members. We're not entirely sure. But Joseph's older brother, Josh, who we spoke about before, he talked about this situation from behind bars through his attorney, who told Us Weekly, quote, Josh Duggar does not know the details of the claims that have been made against his brother Joseph, but he knows the media frenzy that any incident regarding his family creates. He feels for his brother because everything is amplified out of proportion by the media interest in his family. This makes the pain of the criminal justice process exponentially worse. Josh prays for his brother and he hopes that he can stay strong. He too has felt the crushing wave of accusation that is powered by the media spectacle to which his family is subjected. This was interesting, too, that Josh's attorney also said that Josh and Joseph, they are in frequent contact with each other. Also, a quick update, by the way, on Josh's case. He has tried several times unsuccessfully to have his conviction overturned, claiming that the trial was unfair, that his constitutional rights were violated. This is according to KNWA in Arkansas. So he has now apparently hired Chicago attorney Bo B. Brindley, who apparently previously represented R. Kelly. And in his bid for reconsideration, Josh has cited a number of things.
He should say R. Kelly.
By the prosecutors, misleading forensic.
He did. He is trying to like get his case redone, and that's the lawyer he chose. So I don't really know what would be the point at this. He's been there for quite a bit, and I think his sentence was like 12 years. I'd have to look. It could be longer, but I thought it was 12 years.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been like half of that, no?
It seems like it should. They said 2032 he would be. That's when he will be eligible.
Yeah, so
I
that's really
think.
not that far, you know?
That's
I don't
6
think
years.
he's gonna get out though, so.
Yeah.
And they don't think the locks are wrong, so now it's outsiders infringing on their. Yeah, and that's what Tammy and I was telling her before.
Mhm.
And Tammy mentioned, how they took all these different parts of the religion and put them together. And the reason, I was telling her that I think they did that, and she kind of agreed, is because they took the parts of religions that the law isn't supposed to violate. So when they do, they can go, "You're violating my rights." You know what I mean? And that's the way they get away with doing this kind of crap. Is by saying it's my, it's my religion, it's my right.
Yep.
Right. So that's how they're doing this. But that's all like blown up because the one arrest led to the other, and all the rest of the sisters and whatever are probably doing it. Maybe not all of them, but some of them, because they've even made comments in their own books or own, maybe podcasts or shows that they do kind of train them the same. So, but the thing is like now that she's been arrested, I would think the rest of them who are doing the same thing have to kind of be scared because they have to get all the locks off their doors and they can't be doing that no more.
Right.
So yeah, it would lead to other arrests. And that's why I said that to dismantle the whole thing, that whole religion would be the best way to go. I
was wondering what kind of locks it was, because when you think of locks, I didn't know if it was like slide locks, on the outside of the door, or so what they did was they put a knob where you can go in your bedroom and turn it. They just put that part on the outside.
Right.
So they locked them in at night, is what I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're locking them in there at night. So, and then if they were to be asked about it, they would probably say it's in some relation to their religion and how they're bringing them up. So if they get caught doing it, then they can just say that.
Yeah.
So that's what that is.
Keeping them safe.
From
who? From who?
Evidence of
they're keeping them sweet.
Perpetrator in the case. But one of Joseph's cousins, Amy Duggar King, also released a statement after Joseph's arrest, which she later amended. But Duggar King has been very vocal about her time with the 19 kids and Count Stars, writing a book titled Holy Disruptor, Shattering the Shiny Facade by Getting Louder with the Truth. So she released her initial statement on Friday, March 20th on her website, saying in part, quote, "In light of the recent allegations involving my cousin Joseph Duggar, I am sickened, heartbroken, and deeply angry. My first thoughts are with the victim, a child who deserved to be safe, protected, and surrounded by people she could trust. The courage it took for her to come forward, especially after years of carrying something so heavy, cannot be overstated. That bravery deserves to be honored above all else. I was utterly shocked to hear about these allegations and Joseph's arrest. At the same time, I'm not surprised that another alleged predator has emerged from this toxic system. For years, I have spoken out about the importance of truth, accountability, and protecting children, even when it meant going against my own family." She continued, "I am praying for the victim and her family as they walk through what is sure to be an incredibly difficult road ahead. Recognizing that we do not yet know the full picture, I am also praying for Joseph's wife, Kendra, as she begins to process this and for the protection of their children. I'm praying for eyes to be opened, and above all, I pray that justice will be served to the fullest." Then, the next day, March 21st, she amended her statement. Quote, "I need to say something clearly before anything else. My statement released on Friday, March 20th, was written and submitted."
Yeah, she had to amend it because of what Kendra was charged with at first when she said that she was going to back her up with the kids and stuff, but she had been arrested for endangerment and false imprisonment for the kids. So she had to retract what she said. And that's where I saw that she had never even met the children or anything like that, which I kind of thought was interesting. Not that she would have had to meet them, but she kind of gave the impression that they were all she was still close with Joseph. So I thought, when she said
he was her favorite, she said.
Yeah. So, but I figured I just kind of she put her foot in her mouth.
Does she have any kids?
Kendra Duggar's arrest.
I don't know. I don't know if she does. I think she's married though. I'm not sure. I'd have to look.
I wrote that I was praying for Kendra as she begins to process this. I was speaking to what I believed at the time, that she was a wife and mother blindsided by devastating news about her husband. I want that context to be unambiguous. Those words were written in a different moment with different information.
Maybe you
All
should
right, I
have
want to
waited.
get some perspective here, and I also have a lot of unanswered questions about this. So let me bring in former Palm Beach County State Attorney, my friend Dave Arenberg. Dave, thanks so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it. So I have to tell you, when I first heard about this, and I was just reading the headlines, I first thought, oh my gosh, Kendra's getting arrested. Maybe not surprising, because in a number of child abuse cases or alleged child abuse cases, you always wonder whether the partner, the spouse, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, what have you, will they be arrested, right? Because did they have knowledge about what was going on? Did they participate? To be clear, what she has been arrested for is not directly in connection with the allegations that her husband is facing out in Florida. But what you see sometimes is there is an investigation. And once there's an investigation into the home, investigators may learn a little bit more. And so here she's being charged with these different crimes, misdemeanor crimes, lesser crimes, but child endangerment and false imprisonment. What's your take on it, Dave? Are you surprised?
Good to be with you, Jesse. It is not unusual at all. I mean, especially when this family has a rap sheet. I mean, remember the eldest son is currently in prison for downloading child porn, and there were allegations that he was molesting his sisters and others, although he went down for the child porn counts. And so now you have another brother, the seventh child, who is busted for more serious charges, felonies. And now the wife, yes, is also being charged for lesser offenses, misdemeanors, but it's still serious. I mean, you're talking about false imprisonment, endangering the welfare of
And
a
of your own
minor,
children.
because when you find locks installed outside of children's bedroom doors, that looks like false imprisonment and endangerment. And what happens if there's an emergency, like a fire or just basic needs?
That's what I just said.
I have to be clear about this. This is just
Yeah, and that's why I thought it was important to bring that up too, because even if it's a religion thing, what do you do in an emergency? What if there's a fire? What if they're sick? What if there's an intruder? What if there's a lot of things? Like, I was shocked to find, I always was shocked when people would openly on the internet talk about how they locked their kids in rooms. I thought it was illegal.
Yeah.
And now we know it is. So
Yeah.
I think it's really crazy that there's other cases of people who have locked their kids in rooms who are no longer with us. And we'll get to that later. But I just want to say that they don't talk about that person that way, though, because they're no longer with us and something happened to them and they were murdered. But they talk about locking their kids in rooms all the time. So,
Right. Yeah.
and they actually credit this person to being a good parent. So that blew my mind when I found out that this was illegal. And it's been going on kind of out in the open a lot.
And I don't know if it's illegal in
based
every
on-
state, but it should
I would
be.
think it should be if it's not.
Yeah.
Just because of the aspect of it being so dangerous to
Yeah,
lock
I mean,
somebody in the room.
Yeah. It's
And kids who
dang-
don't know what to
yeah.
do if something were to happen, because these are little kids too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sad.
insider, right? Like, we couldn't verify it. I haven't heard authorities verify it. You had this insider that spoke to Us Weekly who said that there were two rooms where the lock of the
No, they
doorknob
don't.
was on the
I think
outside
they don't
instead
get
of
caught.
the
They ain't hide
inside.
behind it.
We don't know if that's true. And by the way, as I said before, it's not child neglect, right? It's charges of child endangerment and false imprisonment. I don't know if that's true, but even if that was the case, would that support a charge like that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, because these are misdemeanors. You're correct that it's not child neglect, but it is endangerment. And when you say endangerment, it means that if there is a fire, if there's an emergency, the child can't leave, has no way of getting out of the room. That's endangering the welfare of a minor. And so you are correct. The reports are indicating it. We don't have absolute verification, but apparently that's why she was arrested. I mean, and although it's not as serious as her husband, who faces much more prison time for the felonies, it's still serious enough and it casts a really bad look on the whole family. Then what happens to the kids? I guess there's no parent then to leave them with, and they'd have to be sent to foster care elsewhere.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. What typically happens in a situation like this regarding the children?
Well, because both parents are being charged, DCF would step in, Department of Children and Families, and they would find another relative to take care of the kids. And if they can't find that, then there are foster homes. I mean, you feel for these children, especially because there's a spotlight on this whole family. This is not typical because normally you don't have a family that the entire world knows about because of a reality show. And not only that, but the reality show was about how great of a family this is, 19 kids and counting, and how they're raised in a way that are devout religious disciples who just practice things like you have to side hug when you're dating someone. You can't even give a full hug. I mean, strict principles, and then you see what happens to these kids.
How did the Florida and Arkansas cases play off one another? What is the coordination? What is the overlapping in evidence, or are they separate?
Well, the defendant here, he waived extradition so that he will be sent back to Florida, but it would be automatic. I mean, even if he fought extradition from Arkansas to Florida for the Florida charges of molestation, you would lose. That's a losing battle, unless you can show that they've got it wrong, that is not the right person, false identity. But if it's you and Florida wants you to stand trial on serious felonies, you're going to get extradited. Now, it's different for misdemeanors. They're not going to break down your door and grab you to bring you back for misdemeanors. But states work together.
I knew she was going to
There
say
are
that.
compacts that allow the states to seamlessly.
Tara had her door
send
removed for
people
being a
back
bad girl.
and forth. It's much harder
Tara.
if it's a
Not
foreign country.
Tara.
That's when you get non-extradition.
Yeah, and the side hug thing. The only reason I want to say something about the side hug is because he brought it up on here that it was just like during dating and things, but it wasn't. The dad side hugging the daughters. You know what I mean? So why is the dad side hugging? He can't control his own impulses when he hugs his own daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So you see where the problem is coming from in the begin with all these kids, and it goes back deeper than that then. But yeah, I just think it's weird that their own dad side hugs them.
Yeah, that is
and
weird.
You get a lot of bureaucratic red tape, but when it comes to states, it's not that hard.
And just to focus on Kendra before we move back to her husband. So she was released Friday night on a bond, just under $1,500, misdemeanor charges. First question I have is, when would we learn more information about what supports these allegations, the specifics of it? I don't know if it's complicated because you are dealing with children. And B, is there anything about her case that could affect what's happening with her husband? You know, typically I would say in a case, if two people are being charged and one is facing lesser charges than the other, would there be some sort of deal that's worked out where they would testify against the other? But this is complicated by the fact, married, two different circumstances. She's facing misdemeanor charges. You know, there's always a spousal privilege. I'm just spitballing here. I'm just trying to think about some ways this might play out. And to be clear, both of them are innocent until proven guilty.
Correct. And you're also correct in bringing up spousal privilege, because that makes it very difficult to leverage one spouse against the other. That, I think, is probably a non-starter. Now, it is telling, though, that Kendra's charges are a lot less than her husband's. At the same time, they may not need Kendra because they've got apparently the cooperation of the victim's family in the husband's case. Now, could Kendra try to cut a deal to save herself? Yes, but because of spousal privilege, which can be invoked by either party, it is very difficult to get her to testify against her husband.
Let's talk about the case against her husband out in Florida. Very serious charges. They seem to have an alleged confession, right?
Oh, that is key. You're going to have his own words used against him. It's one thing to say, well, she's lying. This is...
That was what I was about to say. Somebody else made the point about, saying alleged with it. He admitted to it. So I guess you still would have to say alleged, would you? Even though he admitted to it? What do you think?
Yeah, probably, because he hasn't been convicted of it or formally charged with it, I guess. Or has he?
Allegedly. There you go. There, I threw it in. Allegedly.
Yeah, there we go.
But
But
thing to say,
she
they've got
was it her kids that she can't have contact with?
I don't know. I just heard her family that there was no contact order with her family. That's what a lot of the bigger channels are saying, that they've been able to I guess because they claim they have more like insider connections. So the bigger channels
Oh.
who claim that they actually talk to the family are saying
Right.
that she's not supposed to talk to her family or something like that. But I don't know. I mean, if they're misdemeanor charges, I wouldn't think that she wouldn't even be able to talk to her kids. But again, I don't know. I don't know how
Yeah.
that works. I would think you would just have
Yeah.
to be supervised, but maybe
Yeah.
not. Maybe not until something happens.
Yeah.
Reporting of him, pretty much acknowledging everything. And so this is where prosecutors really benefit from stupid criminals, because if there were not stupid criminals, then prosecutors' jobs would be made so much harder. We've got the entire burden. I still say we, I'm no longer a prosecutor, but I guess once a prosecutor, always a prosecutor. But you've got the entire burden as a prosecutor to prove cases beyond a reasonable doubt in front of unanimous juries. But we're fortunate that criminals can be very dumb, and they say things. It's like you have to always be prepared that the world is watching you with cameras everywhere and recordings everywhere. And here, this guy is sloppy, and he's going to face his own words. He's going to be, as they say in Shakespeare, in Hamlet, he's going to be hoisted with his own petard.
Well, how does defense attorney fight back against that? I mean, I'm assuming there's a
Okay.
recording of the interview.
I thought he was going to say fall on his own sword, but hey, if you want to go the other way.
The law enforcement, also the father, right, of this
Sounded
minor
fancier.
victim.
Yeah, I
alleged
guess
victim.
so.
How does a defense attorney work around that?
Well, defense attorneys get paid a lot of money to be creative, especially when you have deep pockets. And so I think he's got a private lawyer, not a public defender, although public defenders do good jobs. But what they'll do is they'll just try to poke holes in it. I've heard in cases like this where they try to go into the origins of the recording, saying it was improperly recorded. And then if that fails, they'll try to say, well, it's taken out of context. And then they'll say, well, maybe he was joking, and then they'll try to just overcome it by finding other holes in the case. Because when it comes to reasonable doubt, if they can poke a hole in one piece of evidence, they can just rely on that and harp on that. Well, look, you have the recording, but there's this other piece of evidence that you should focus on that is faulty, and because of that, that's your reasonable doubt. But I think that the main argument for the defense is going to be that Joseph was pressured by the victim's father, so he felt religiously obligated to admit something that actually wasn't a crime under Florida law. So they're going to say coercion here. So they're going to lean into a motion to suppress, saying that the police didn't follow proper procedure and that the confession was coerced. But man, I that's hard. It's an uphill climb. That's one thing that defense lawyers always try to do, but it doesn't succeed very often.
Well, does it become very fact specific if you're talking about lewd and lascivious, behavior, lewd and lascivious, molestation of a victim? Because if you're talking about, does a defense attorney acknowledge that, for example, there was physical contact, but it didn't cross that line, that it didn't go towards the private area? And if that becomes the question, I mean, what proof would you have? I mean, unless there was video of it, there's going to be no forensic material of it. It really boils down to the testimony of that victim, right, to explain what happened. Do these become tricky cases?
Mm-hmm. The victim's testimony is important, but at the same time, you've got a recorded confession. And so that's going to be your big evidence. It's not going to be the victim's voice. It's going to be Joseph's voice that's going to be used against him. So that's why it's imperative for them to try to cast doubt on that call any way they can, through trying to suppress it, that the jury never hears it to begin with, or that they're just going to say this is coercion by the victim's father. So essentially, they'll put the victim's family on trial to say that this is motivated for nefarious reasons, maybe monetary reasons or other reasons why they would make up such a thing. Yeah. So that's where they're going, but it's tough. I mean, and if you're wondering if they're going to bring in the brother in this about Josh Duggar.
You literally read my mind. My next question to you is what happened with Josh going to play any role in this whatsoever? My initial thought was, jury selection, right? A, have you ever seen this show? B, did you know what happened to Josh? Because if people know what happened to Josh, they may they may have a bias and say, of course, the other family members must be guilty of this, right? I mean, I imagine that has to be a key part of jury selection.
That is absolutely going to be a big part of jury selection. And they are going to fight to keep out any mention of Joseph's brother, Josh, out of the trial. So first they're going to try to exclude any juror who knows about the brother, thinking that would prejudice them. But they'll also argue that the name Josh Duggar shall not be mentioned during the trial because that would prejudice the jury and he would be punished for the sins of his brother if it's mentioned in trial. So that's going to be a big part of it. And I'm glad I read your mind on that.
So they're talking about just if they were to bring his name up during the trial. I thought you couldn't bring somebody else up. And like, how could you even bring his brother's situation into a trial?
They'll probably keep him from doing it.
I don't even think you can legally do it. Can you? Can you bring somebody else's legal situation just because they're a family member into your trial?
Since he's a family member, the point they're probably going to go at is, well, one brother's already in jail for it.
It's like say it that way. Okay.
You know, do you really think that this one wouldn't do it?
Wouldn't do
And
the
they,
same thing.
you know, and they talk all the time.
Right.
That's going to work against
Or like
him
imply
too.
it in some way, maybe. Or something.
Yeah.
Because I agree with Tara. I don't think you can say that during a trial, but we'll see.
They'll
It'll be
probably
interesting.
say it. You know, one family member has already been arrested for this, and they talk to this family member all the time. So, I mean, I don't know that that's legal and they can do that, but it's one way of saying, you know, this is believable.
Yeah. In this interview, they say that he talked to Josh more. I'm pretty sure that guy said it. But in another one, they're saying no, he doesn't. So that's what I'm saying. That they're very back and forth. The family says no, like they don't, you know, like the brothers and sisters. I think that they're more pushing that Joseph doesn't talk to Josh though because of what he's being charged with now, maybe.
Right.
You know, but because Tara said too, like right before, and I was going to look into that, they were supposed to be with them, the Duggar family, during Christmas. So.
Well, and if he does, it'll be recorded if he does.
Yeah.
It'll be because they have to. I mean, all that's recorded. Whoever calls you is recorded. If somebody visits you, they have to sign a log.
Yeah.
So that will be easy to check.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that is key. The thing is, being on reality TV is a double-edged sword. Yeah, you got all this publicity, you got fame, fortune. At the same time, you got a lot of scrutiny, and now a lot of people think that your whole family is tainted by the acts of the brother.
By the way, talking about him, I mentioned this before. Our reporting on this, our research on this says that Josh has tried several times to have his conviction overturned. He said that his trial was unfair, that it violated his constitutional rights. He's hired a Chicago attorney, Bo Brinley, previously represented R. Kelly. He cited alleged misconduct by prosecutors, misleading forensic testimony, that he wasn't able to present all the evidence that he wanted to about an alternative perpetrator. Anything we can expect there?
You know, appeals are tough. They can succeed if there are glaring errors at trial, but you know, even if there were a few mistakes here and there, that's not enough. It could be harmless error. You got to show that mistake is what materially prejudiced the jury against you, that led to a verdict of guilty. So, yeah, I wasn't there for every day of the trial, but I do know about these Hail Mary attempts by the defense to try to get these cases, these convictions overturned. I think he's saying that there was a DOJ expert that manipulated forensic data and committed perjury.
Oh my goodness!
I think it's a high bar. I don't think that's true. They will, of course, always.
Is that not like overly paranoid to say like the state set up something against you on your computer? They planted CP all over your computer. That's basically what he's saying. And then there was like with him saying too, like there was evidence of somebody else doing it. I figured he was going to go that way because he had that car dealership. And I wondered why he never said, because I'm sure he had to have at least one other employee. I highly doubt he was the only one there. So I always wondered why he never said that at first. So, and then, and then again, why spend all that money on him when they know deep down that he did it? His parents do it. So, in my opinion, so I think it's interesting that they're willing to throw away money on this expensive lawyer.
Well, by the time they probably get a chance to hear it, his term will be over. I mean, if he's or close to it. I mean, 30. I think they said 2032.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's almost over. Why waste money and the time?
Yeah.
It's all about, I guess, still trying to save face on reputation, but now your reputation has just been blown to shit. So good
Mhm.
luck with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Say ineffective assistance of counsel. That's like the go-to. You blame your original lawyers for not, presenting certain evidence. So, I think it's going to be tough. He's serving a 12.5-year sentence in Texas. So they'll try to get anything to try to get him out early. But I think this guy is going to have to serve his sentence until I think 2032. So he should get used to those prison walls.
So, by the way, Dave, we heard a little bit of this jailhouse phone call. I don't know how relevant it would be to any case. It seems he's just being explained the extradition process. So I'll ask your thoughts on that. And B,
Really?
do you think he would make bond? Do you think he would get bond?
The law does lean towards giving people bond, but the charges here are so serious that he'd have to show that he's not a threat to the community, that he's not a flight risk, that he's not a threat to try to contact the victim or the victim's families, to try to intimidate them. So I do think he'll get a monetary bond, and then he would have to pay 10% of that, but it'll be a high bond. And so, because generally, unless it's a violent crime like a murder, manslaughter, the inclination is to give people bond. He'll wait for trial on house arrest, perhaps wear an ankle monitoring bracelet. And as far as the calls, people are always going to try to attack the calls. I think that it's tough. When you're on a jailhouse call, you are told repeatedly that the call is being recorded. And so it's hard to say, I didn't know. And that's why I say if not for dumb criminals, prosecutors wouldn't be so successful.
Dave Arenberg, thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah.
And that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
Okay. So that was the one I wanted to watch. That was the combination of kind of where they mixed what Josh had done and then Joseph. And then now they brought up also how Josh was trying to get his sentence overturned, which I think is a complete waste of time. And of course, that was probably started before this happened, but now it's going to be a complete waste of time. And like Tara says, he's always getting in trouble too, Josh, in jail.
Oh, is
or
he?
prison.
Okay.
Yeah, like he got caught with the phone. He got all of his good days taken away. So I'm pretty sure they also look into that stuff if you're trying to get stuff overturned. They see what kind of prisoner you are. And they even said like he's like completely like naive to the stuff he's supposed to be saying about what he's done in prison. Like he shares information and stuff that's happened. I guess maybe I don't know if it's so much along the charges or just things he's done in his life. But basically like that's putting him almost on the bad side with all the prisoners, because I guess he thinks it's okay to talk about some of these things, but it's involving children. So he's so, again, these people have been so conditioned, so whatever, they think that they can talk about this kind of stuff in a Texas
It's a
prison.
normal thing. It's like a normal conversation.
I'm surprised nothing hasn't happened to him yet.
Yeah.
If he's talking about that kind of stuff in jail, in prison. So, yeah, he doesn't even know it's inappropriate not to talk about that kind of things with the, like, they don't want to hear your crap in jail. Like, they don't want to hear your stuff. So, and I brought up a couple other ones. I'm going to pull it down off the back of the screen real quick while I go through the list so it doesn't start playing stuff. But was there anything that kind of came out in this interview that we didn't kind of hit on yet that stood out to you or you just popped into your brain that you want to mention?
Well, I was just wondering if they're going to go back to when she was 9. So if they sentence him, will they give him years from when she was 9 till her age now? Or will they just... How would they do that? How would they?
I was wondering, would they charge him like with, in the sense of the sentence, would it be the same as if when the child was 9 or now, since they put new laws in place? And I think it's since the new laws have been in place is what they would charge him with. I don't think it would go back to the time of the crime.
Yeah, because there's like statute of limitations. I mean, I don't know if there are any, because like I said,
It's under that.
Yeah,
it's under that.
I think states are different and that category and what and how many years there are and what certain things there are, that falls under that.
Right. So yeah, that's definitely one. And then I kind of wanted to just pull up a couple of interviews of like the brothers or the sisters as the only ones I've seen so far. A couple of sisters make a little bit of comments on it. I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know what they say. I just know one is Ginger and she talks about it on her podcast. So it's about a 3-minute clip. And then there's another one sister that makes a bit of a comment on it. So I'm going to go through those real quick and see.
Hey, Mandy. Man, it's been forever. Glad you came in. It's all right that you're late. It's
Yeah,
okay.
okay. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got lots of stuff that we're looking through, but thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming, and I hope you've been doing good.
Good to see you.
Yeah. So let me
Oh, you
see.
shared your live. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, we
So let's
appreciate it. We've got this double streaming thing, Mandy. You're going to have to check it out in StreamYard when you get back in there. You'll be as confused as we were.
Yeah, it's fun though. I like doing the double stream.
It's
It's
fun.
nice to be able to combine with somebody and
Yeah.
share and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, it's a neat feature.
so let's see.
We'll pay enough for it.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I have Ginger Duggar breaks her silence on her brother. So 1 second, it's gonna take me a minute to get it all situated and pull back up, but that's what
How
we're gonna
much
look at.
younger is she than
I'm
the
not sure.
brother?
Tara might know more. Tara knows more about like their ages and what age they probably fall into, I think, but I don't know if she knows a lot about Tara. Or Tara. Tara is Tara.
Ginger.
Yeah, Ginger. Tara is
Tara.
Tara.
Tara knows a lot about Tara. She had her
Yeah.
door taken off when she
Yeah,
was a
she got
kid.
her door taken off.
It's going to make you mad, Mandy.
Yeah.
It's going to make you mad.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. That's why I want to kind of look through. I'm kind of making a collection of all the stuff I've been watching so that we can kind of, again, kind of dissect it as we get further into it.
Right.
When all the problems started coming out with Josh and then kind of all the problems since then. And there's tons of great videos. And I kind of want to put all these clips together and kind of just go through all the creepy, like cringy stuff that it's like you knew right away. Like when after they were doing an interview with the Duggars, like the parents, and they're talking about like not letting the kids play hide and seek without being seen, not letting them go anywhere and not be seen together. I don't think that's an average problem for brothers and sisters that they can't go play hide and seek by themselves because they might do something wrong. You know what I mean? It's that kind of stuff that's like, they were already telling you.
Well, brothers and sisters don't think about doing that kind of stuff unless it's learned or seen or taught. Yeah.
That's another thing I thought about. And that's why I was saying when the dad is telling them, oh, well, you only half hug and we do this because it's the appropriate thing to do so you don't get any impure thoughts. That's you impure. You're the nasty ass one. Yeah. Not the children. You're the one making them think it's impure. So you're implanting that it is impure. And so that's their minds just start spiraling, going all these different weird directions. And the fact that the girls had to say a code word. Did you hear that? I didn't hear that until recently. So, and they say it on the 19 and counting, like the whole seasons where they do for TLC or whatever it was. So whenever they used to go out in public, the girls would have to yell Nike. And Nike meant that there was a woman around with too much showing or attractive so that the husband, their dad, and the brothers could look down so that they didn't get tempted by somebody walking in front of them.
Oh my goodness.
So that's what I'm saying. That's a predator problem to me.
Yeah, that's
as the dad. And then you're basically teaching the boys that if they look up, there's an issue. So I just feel like you're implanting problems when you do stuff like that.
Yeah, you're planting a seed. You're growing thoughts. I mean,
just like how they blocked them from using computers, even though they're all on TV and shit, all that stuff's all over the internet, but it's garbage. It's the devil, all this kind of stuff. And then you see where they're letting them look at pictures, but they're not allowed to be on the computer by themselves or even look at picture, like little picture things on the screen where it's just like photos flipping. That's all it is, just photos flipping, and they can't even be there looking at it by themselves. And what ends up happening? Josh has CP all over his work computer.
Well, I mean, I get controlling internet and what they can see, being that protective parent that doesn't allow you to go on, TikTok and YouTube you can only watch certain stuff. That I totally get, but not to the extreme of what they did.
No. And that's what I'm saying. Like, and this was when the internet was still kind of new. So, I mean, they were almost like telling them like, oh, there's all this horrible like CP on there and dark stuff. Well, what do you think they're going to go looking for eventually?
Well,
especially like you're monitoring them constantly. So that's what I'm saying. Like you're setting this up to be a complete disaster when you behave that way. And then they did chaperone them. And I found out later too, the brothers were chaperoning the sisters.
Oh yeah, that really
I
goes
think is
well.
even weirder.
Yeah.
Why isn't the dad doing it if they're supposed to? But now you're finding out that possibly some of the brothers allegedly were doing things that they weren't supposed to the sisters. We don't all know to what extent, but they're having them chaperone them on the date with their future husband.
But they couldn't even go out till they were 18 or over. So if I'm 18, that makes me an adult. My brother is not going to go with me to chaperone me. I mean, if I'm an adult, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And again, I would think they would have been over 18. Yeah. And
But that's what they said. They could not date till
yeah,
they
until they
were
were 18.
adults.
Well,
I
that
think that's what
one
they
Jana,
said.
she didn't even get married and leave the house till she was 34.
That's a little ridiculous.
That's a lot. 34 years old until she got married. And then the dad has to approve it pretty much. So you know who was keeping her home.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay. So I'm going to bring this up on the share screen. I'm going to be right back. Do you mind just
Okay.
back on the comments, and I'm going to bring up the
No.
share screen in a second. Hold on.
Yeah. Love you, Mandy. I can't believe you got a little time to get on the computer. Are you hiding somewhere? Is Gooby asleep? Is she asleep? She better not be. If she's asleep now, you're in trouble. Thank you for dropping the links. I appreciate y'all. Glad y'all are here. We're gonna go. I haven't asked Megan. Meg. Haven't asked Megan yet. I can't even talk. Probably Friday or Saturday night, whichever night's good with her. Because tomorrow
Rock
night.
Island?
Well, I think we're gonna go over and visit
A
the
different
Looking
island?
Glass. We're gonna do some paranormal.
Oh, that's right. Did you find anything that you were interested in on the paranormal yet?
I found a lot of stuff, but we need to see if anybody's interested in, for us to do first. If not, we'll just find what we like, what we want to start out with, and go that direction.
Cool. Sounds good.
Week,
Oh, let me stop this real quick.
the pain and
Like,
heartbreak that
and
we've
you and I were talking about religion and kind
Right.
of taking all the different ones, putting them together to basically, be abusive. And
Mhm.
because it is, they're taking all these different things so they can implement like some type of abuse or hiding of the sexual assaults that are going on and stuff like that.
Right.
But what I was saying, like when they take all these different religions like that, all they do is rename them, but it's like the same thing, just changing form. Like what they remind me of is like the Jeffs. I think is what Warren Jeffson, when all that stuff got busted and they went in there and just split up the whole compounds, like took all the kids, took all the wives, took all the men, sent them to prison. Because I feel like you're gonna have to do something similar here. And obviously you're not going to take all of them. It's not the same thing, I would think, but it's probably close to it. They're all following the same procedures. They're all following the same whatever. And so I just think, when you see these kind of religions where they push this behavior, it's the same thing, just in different clothing, different name. So, but I feel like this is something similar of like when the Warren Jeffs or whatever they're called. That's what this reminds me of.
I did not think that my heart could break like it has this week. The pain and heartbreak that we've had over this, and just thinking of how it's affected so many. Yeah, it's just unthinkable.
Ginger Duggar and her husband, Jeremy Volo, breaking their silence on her brother Joseph and his wife Kendra's arrests.
It's so hard and painful and on many levels.
If anything comes up, they're going to question you on it.
I just committed to prayer and pray that his life will be changed. And so that's all I can do is just pray for his family, victims, all of that.
Last week, the married father of 4 became the second Duggar brother arrested on charges related to child sex abuse. Joseph in handcuffs being booked into an Arkansas jail. The 31-year-old taken into police custody this week and charged with lewd and lascivious behavior after being accused of molesting a 9-year-old girl in 2020 while on vacation in Florida. And then there's his wife Kendra, who was arrested days later. Kendra and Joseph facing 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor and 4 counts of false imprisonment. A family representative confirming Kendra's arrest is not related to Joseph's molestation charges. Fast forward a few days, and Ginger and Jeremy visibly emotional, addressing the arrest on their self-titled podcast.
All we can do
I was
in
going to
those
say, they
moments
must
is
have
just cry out to God
their own
Yeah.
podcast.
and ask Him to
They
sustain
do.
us, to give help, and because it just, yeah, you can't be prepared for news like this, even though we've experienced something very similar before with one of my other siblings who made unthinkable choices, decisions that have affected all of us.
Well, I know so many of your fans have a question about your brother Josh. He is still in jail.
Yeah, I haven't spoken to him at all since he's been in. And I think that prior to that,
No, at all since he's been
I
in.
had, you know, we had opportunities throughout the years to speak to him whenever he's gone through his problems. And
There's an interesting story about her too. I'm going to share
the
right after
pain
this.
and hurt that's caused to us, but then to so many others is just so hard. And so, yeah, it's hard to know, you know, what to do sometimes moving forward. You just feel the weight of it. It's a tough
I wonder what their
situation.
podcast is about.
Latest Duggar family member to speak out. Her
I
sister
don't know. I
Jill,
just
who
saw
was
it
one
this
of
morning
Josh's
for the first
victims,
time.
condemned Joseph's actions last week.
I think it's like
And Amy
Christian
Duggar
kind of
King, a
thing.
cousin of the
Okay.
family, told ET
Yeah.
she was shocked by the news.
To be honest, I was absolutely and utterly broken. It's like, it's extremely
What is the
heartbreaking to know
smiling?
that someone who you once had so much
I'll
fun with,
smile.
who you loved, who you know, he is such a great personality, could ever become allegedly, you know, a predator.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the comments. I didn't realize they were done. So yeah, so let me pause this before it goes into the next one. But the reason I brought that up and I wanted to do
Kendra Duggar
Ginger's
arrested just days.
pause. Okay. Is because I had seen something on Ginger and her husband too. And it came out of the church or religion that she's supposed to be a part of now. And it was that one of the people who were a part of the church, her husband was rather abusing or cheating on her. And I can't remember which one it was, but they were basically encouraging this woman to kind of put up with the abuse. And she had reported it later on. So that's coming out of the church that Ginger and her husband are a part of. So that's what I'm saying. They keep just changing the name of what they're doing. And then they act, and it's like, I don't know. It's frustrating, I guess, for me to see that. It's irritating.
It is frustrating because you
can see what it is. You can see what it is. It's the same people. They're behaving the same way. They're saying the same thing, and they're doing the same things. So I don't know.
But they all don't live around each other.
Well, I doubt
Like
they
they-
all do. I think they're spread all over. I think half of it, and I was telling Tara this, I think half of them are probably inbred, to be honest. They all
Yeah.
look alike. All their features are almost the
Me
same.
too.
Yeah, and then they fly like, I mean, most of the people, they go to all the same places. Like I said, again, they all look alike. And so to me, I just feel like you don't know if there's a second cousins, third cousins. I mean, and then if they are doing this stuff, you're not going to bring in a bunch of outside people, you know, for the most part. I mean, you'll get some that kind of straggle in over time, but for the most part, you're probably dipping out of the same pool for a long time. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna be honest about that too. I think that there's a lot of inbreeding going on over here with this bullshit too.
Yeah, there could be.
Hold on. I'm gonna restart this one. So this was Kendra's arrest, but I feel like we looked at. I'm gonna go ahead and play this one because it's not too long. It's only 2 minutes, just to see if there's anything we haven't heard about her arrest yet. But I just want to go ahead and play this and see what they say.
Kendra Duggar arrested just days after her husband Joseph was charged with lewd and lascivious conduct with a minor who was 9 at the time. Neither has entered a plea in court yet.
Our family has put ourselves out there on the line, and if anything comes up, they're gonna question you on it.
Arkansas police arrested 27-year-old Kendra on Friday. She and her husband, who have been married since 2017 and share 4 kids, are charged with 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor and 4 counts of false imprisonment.
Whenever somebody you respect the most is willing to get up and proclaim, you know, what we believe as Christians, you never would expect that person to be the one that's involved in it, and it broke my heart.
Police say the reported incident happened back in 2020 while Joseph and the alleged victim were on vacation with family in Florida. That's where the girl claims Joseph, who would have been 26 at the time, repeatedly asked her to sit on his lap, and at one point she alleges he touched her inappropriately underneath a blanket. Joseph was taken into custody in his home state of Arkansas, where detectives say he admitted to the actions. He's now awaiting extradition to Florida.
What was your reaction when you heard this news about your cousin Joseph?
To be honest, I was absolutely and utterly broken. It's
don't look
extremely
broken.
heartbreaking to know that someone who you once had so much fun with, who you love, could ever become allegedly, a predator.
ET spoke with Joseph's
I think
cousin,
they're all just
Duggar,
emotionally
on
detached
Friday,
is the problem.
after Joseph's arrest,
yeah.
but before Kendra's.
Have you spoken to Kendra?
I have not. I sent a text, a very polite, small text. I just said, "I'm here for you. I love you, and I'm truly in my prayers." I can't even imagine to process this type of grief and this kind of loss, and if this is true, if this situation is true, I can't imagine her next steps.
As she's got her book displayed behind her.
Yeah, that's what a lot of the people were saying, that I think what's bothering them is she keeps pushing about her book all the time in every interview that she's doing, and they're feeling like she just takes the opportunity to kind of just push her book. So
Yeah.
I don't really know much about her or seen much about her, but I did notice that a lot, that when I've been looking at stuff to kind of look this up, that they're kind of calling her an opportunist a lot. Again, not so much my opinion. I haven't looked into her enough to completely decide what mine is, but I see what they're talking about, I guess, but I just haven't made my decision on it yet.
Yeah.
But,
well, her book's on display behind her the whole time she's talking.
Well,
so.
in every statement, every interview, it's always like my book, my book, my book. And I get it. I mean, it's her experience. She wants to share it, things like that. I mean, I get that. But I think maybe, I don't know how long she's been doing it either. I don't know how long she comes out and pushes her book when something happens. But I mean, that's the only thing I've heard about her. People just saying she's a bit of an opportunist. But again, I haven't really watched enough on her to decide either way.
Yeah, me either.
But,
Hey, Megan, just real quick for a sidebar, explain to Mandy your QR code.
Okay, so the QR code that I have up in the corner for thechange.org is for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. So he went missing out of Sumner County on February 26th of 2024. So basically there's really no movement on his case, and it's kind of, the investigators really haven't been helping much, whenever his father needs something or anything like that. So I kind of created this petition to just remove the investigators off of the case who are on it now and get new ones on it. So we had 600 Scout told us last time.
642 or something
it was
like that.
642, 649, something in
Something
between
like
there.
that. Yeah.
Right. So we're trying to get to the petition to 1,000 for Sebastian, and hopefully, get it there pretty soon so that I can send it over there to Sumner County.
Yes.
And but yeah, I would love to get this petition to 1,000 so we can send it to Sumner County and hopefully get new investigators on Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. So,
and I wasn't sure if you knew about it, Mandy, but I knew you'd love it because yeah.
So thank you to everyone who has shared and signed it so far, and then I appreciate it a lot.
Yes.
So, and we will be doing a live on him for I don't know if Saturday or Sunday will be better for you, but I wanted to go ahead and kind of do an update for him too, because I haven't done one in I think a little bit over a week or so.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And I found some new search videos. And actually, Kylie, I need to message Kylie back about that. I saw her email like late last night. I meant to get back to her about it. There's some videos and pictures. Did you see pictures? The pictures that she sent yet, Tammy?
No,
for
she
Sebastian
didn't.
search?
I don't think she sent them to me.
Okay, I'll forward them to you. And but yeah, we're gonna look at that and some videos that she had kind of mentioned.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And the father younger went to the police. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I heard, that the girl had told her father, and he went, and it made it sound like he had drove down there and kind of confronted him.
He confronted him.
He confronted him in person. Yeah, he confronted him in person.
He didn't beat his.
No, I'm surprised.
That's what I'm saying. I would have. I don't know how he did that. How did he confront him and not do that?
I don't know. And that's what they're saying about Chris Watts, right? how did Chris Watts not just call the cops supposedly and jump to do to Shanann what she did to in his, in his story? But
In
that's
his
what they're
story.
saying with that. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
when I said that in the live, I was giving the example of how even in that scenario like that, a parent will kind of hold back so they can get the justice they want. Some do.
Yeah.
So I thought it
Yeah.
was, with Chris Watts saying he never got mad and didn't do things like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Sure.
oh, you do
Tara,
have Dre Judy.
we would probably do it Sunday afternoon, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll probably try
Yeah.
to do it a little bit earlier in the morning, but we'll see. Cause I know that you still have some other ones that you want to look at too.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and
That last news clip, he said he admitted to police too. Yeah, I think, that might come back to bite him,
Yeah, he did.
'cause-
He did admit to it.
Yeah. So
And
that's
it's recorded.
and I'm sure those lawyers are going to say, well, he was, he was felt cornered or whatever their favorite word is.
Coerced them.
Yeah.
That's what they're gonna say. Yeah.
To making the statement. Yeah.
But he admitted it to the dad. He admitted it to them. It's all
Yeah.
recorded. So yeah, that's why it's going to be really hard to backtrack on that at all. So let me
Yeah.
see.
He seems to think that when he admits stuff, then it's okay. He admitted it. So now everything's okay. But that's not
Right.
how it works.
Right. So let me see. I'm gonna look at the and the other
That's
one.
what I'm saying, Ronnie.
I'm surprised the father didn't go to jail. Yeah.
His dad. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like I
Course,
saw
yeah.
something recently where the dad supposedly, maybe possibly, allegedly went off on the family who reported him. I have to look that
Wow.
up too and add that, but I feel like I saw that too. That's what I said. These channels are releasing things every 2 hours. You know what I mean? Like I can't even
Yeah.
get to them in time. There's so many.
Right.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
And you got to be careful too, because you don't want them to strike you for using their stuff. But I mean, there's
Right.
so much of it out there.
Yeah, that's why I try to find the news clip ones because those are harder for. Yeah, and that's what
Mhm.
their belief is. If you admit it, you're just forgiven. And I didn't know.
Right.
Tara had mentioned it to me that for them, stealing a piece of gum is the same thing as what he's done. So that's
Yeah,
another
I've
thing
seen
how
it.
they treat
Yeah.
their religion and make it along the lines of. So they've even made sin so small that they've put pedophilia in the same category as stealing.
Yeah, the sin is the sin. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
They need to arrest all them pedo men and abusive, whatever, lock their
Mhm.
asses all in jail, put the children with hopefully
Mhm.
better families, and just stop that shit already.
Right.
Because we already
Yeah.
know this is just another form of Warren Jeffs bullshit and whatever was
Mhm.
going on over there. And they just, again, change the name, change the look, and again, all the inbreeding makes them all look the same. So
Yeah.
their prettiness just distracts you. That's what it's about. They find all
Mhm.
these people who are just pretty and their looks are whatever. So it's look how pretty and perfect we all are and how good we
Mhm.
behave. So yeah, a bunch of inbreds.
Yeah,
That's what I
and
think.
they're delusional because that's not how things work. It's not, you're not just going to be saying that's okay, don't do it again. And maybe that's how you've been growing up and that's how you've been taught and that's how things work within that group. But when it's brought to the law, then you fall under something different than you fell under your beliefs.
Right.
Because there's things you can't do that's not just, it's okay, don't do it again.
Yeah. And that is how the cycle continues. And even if it is something as simple as locking the kids in a room at night, that's all stuff that's
Right.
gonna mess with them kids. That is training. So even if the kids at some point just say they behave and they don't cry to get out and they don't whatever, they still have to go through a phase of where they're probably beating to get out of there and screaming and crying and terrified. So they have to put them through all of that first to get them to the quiet, submissive, just like she has them on the blanket training. Lets these kids pick out a toy that they want, get them all excited, put them on a blanket, and then hit them for it. At 6 months old and younger.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That is abuse. Locking them in rooms is abuse. Not letting them be able to get out to go to the bathroom or if there's emergencies is abuse.
Yeah.
And then playing this weird perverted of oh, well, if you hug your sister full on, then you're going to have bad thoughts. So again, you're implanting that bullshit. And if anything, that's coming from the daddy. So you know what the daddy is then.
Yeah. It was taught to them. So that's,
yeah. Break them in and break them down to nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
No,
think
thanks.
Mandy was in here when we did the earlier
No,
video
yeah.
where they had locks on the outside of the kids' doors.
Yeah, so flipping it around, so you can just like if you were to have a lock on the inside, just flip the lock around, so
That
you can
just-
lock it from the outside.
Right.
Yeah.
So they were locking them in their room. So she was charged with false imprisonment. Is that what it was?
Yeah, false imprisonment and then endangering because if something were to happen. Yeah, I mean, because again, think about it, even if there were a fire, what if you couldn't find the keys? Those kids are going to burn alive in that room.
And
That's
they
what
were
I'm saying,
probably upstairs, so it's not like they could crawl out a window.
Mm-mm.
If they were,
and just say the room, and this is where it goes into like, what if intruders come through a base floor window, and they're locked inside that room, and you got how many kids stuck in that room together? They're gonna take all your kids, and you wouldn't even. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, I can't believe that these people have been doing this for this long, talking about it in books, and that's why I wonder with some of. When you see some of the interviews of the sisters and things, and I'm not saying anything bad about them, I know they've gone through abuse too, but if they're locking their kids in their rooms, they're the abuser now, in my opinion. You can only play I'm a victim for so long before you become the abuser, and now you're enabling everything. So now you're just as bad as them, and that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
So.
And that was a huge house. That is a huge house that they
were
were
a whole
in.
different. It was like 3 houses put together.
Yeah, it's huge. I couldn't
But they're
believe
telling
it.
you they don't allow them to sit next to each other or go around the corner together or go into, so how would you even know in a house that big? I feel like they make it that big so they can do that kind of creepy shit.
Yeah.
Let me see the blanket.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, I
Could
knew
you
it would.
imagine taking your sweet little baby, tell them to go pick out a toy, and then every time they try to grab it, you spank them? Like, poor kids. Yeah, break them.
Yeah.
But okay, so the next one we're gonna watch, though, they're not very long. The next ones I have coming up, I want to do the one where they're saying Michelle Duggar flips out because I want to.
Oh yeah, I want to see that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a bunch of different clips. I'll try to add everything in as where they all came from as we go, but I was kind of adding them as we came on too, because again, there's so many. They're coming out like every 30 minutes to every 2 hours. So there's tons of them. But here's this one. Let me pull it up. Are we on share screen? No. Okay. Let me get my share screen together and I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Yeah. She's 3 already. Goodness. So sweet.
Okay.
I can't imagine you doing that to her either.
Mm-mm.
Or
and just how disappointed and heartbreaking it has to be for them kids to look at their parent after they're like, oh, get your favorite toy and come over here, and then you just start spanking them for it. Like, poor kids. That's what I'm saying. Like, can you imagine the mind effing that goes on in them kids' heads when that happens?
Yeah.
Why did I do that?
Law enforcement needs to really look into them because it leads to, Jody. Yep. I can't. Hinderbrandt and Frankie and we were.
Same thing.
I was just talking to Megan about that earlier. That they remind me of them.
It's the same thing with them. They were doing the same type of religion beliefs, locking them all in rooms. They're going to be bad if you don't mistreat them. And that's what I'm saying. That statement alone, they're going to be bad if you don't. And I say mistreat, but I guess discipline is a better way to say. But that's what they're telling you. All that stuff, locking them in rooms, beating them for wanting to grab a toy. You already told them to pick out all that stuff. It's because they're bad, right?
Yeah,
not because you're physically doing it yourself.
Right. February 3rd. That's right. She did turn 3 then. Oh my goodness. Hello, Miss Running Gray Wolf. How are you? Welcome, welcome.
How are y'all? Yeah, welcome.
Bella being extra bad today. Oh, she got the zoomies.
Like the cat, the zoomies. That's what I think of it. I think that
she is a golden retriever, and she has the zoomies.
Oh, I thought we were talking about a kid.
No,
I was like, oh,
well, it is
the zoomies. That's great.
It is her kid.
Kid, so yeah. So here we go. I'm gonna pull it up now. So this is Michelle Duggar flips out on reporter.
I'm protecting children. What are you doing? What were they doing in the interview? What was your son doing something definitely worse? The right to be here.
As we all know, the Duggars have tried their hardest to keep a low profile and be private since 2021 after Josh was found guilty on some horrific charges related to kids. But now they really have been hiding out to avoid the mass chaos related to their son Joseph Duggar's charges. And Kendra, Michelle was spotted out by a reporter and completely spazzed out on him. And I don't think that I have ever seen Michelle raise her voice past a level 5. The reporter came to the road and was approached by Michelle as she had her phone out. He immediately starts recording her for his protection. Michelle says that she is protecting children, which is an interesting statement considering she didn't protect her own children from her son Josh, who was allowed back into the family home just months after the touching.
Okay.
You are interfering with children.
No, I'm not messing with the children.
Yes,
This has
you
nothing.
are.
This has nothing
Yes,
to do.
you are. They were
This has.
children.
This has
Shame
nothing.
on you.
This has nothing to do with the children.
you.
This is you guys are being investigated for the children. I'm here for press.
On you.
I'm not saying this reporter is in the right because no one wants media all over their butts at a time like this. However, it looks like this may be at the location Kendra and the kids are staying at for now during the cases. We shall see what comes out next. I am actually surprised that Michelle approached this person. Michelle normally has this keep sweet personality. She
There's a
never
weird
raises her
picture,
voice.
too.
She always lets Jim
Yeah.
Bob handles the hard stuff.
The
But
hell is that
their
about?
heads
this really
right.
shocked me. Maybe it's the
Holding each
adrenaline.
other's heads and necks is weird. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I was telling you, I don't know about the road and what the things were about the road. I heard it was a private road that it connected to a public road. Not saying that's right, but I heard that's probably why she freaked out the way she did. I don't know if it actually was or wasn't, but that was alleged that it was possibly a private road that led to their property that came off a public road. Because he
Well,
did
it
end up
makes
leaving. I
more
don't know what
sense.
that was about.
It makes more sense if Kendra and the kids are staying there. Her reaction
Yeah.
makes more sense than it
Yeah.
does with it just being just her and
Yeah.
him living there. I don't know if they have any kids at home, but it makes more sense if Kendra and the younger ones are there.
Yeah.
That her acting like that makes sense to me because she's talking about protecting those kids.
Yeah. And yeah, in now given she didn't do it to begin with, they wouldn't be in this situation. So it's kind of a little bit
I
late to
get
try
it.
to start protecting now. But yeah, like I
Right.
agree with what you're saying. I think that
Yeah.
she freaked out the way she did because again, that's supposed to be a private road that connects to a public road
Right.
that leads to their property. If it's not
Mhm.
private, then yeah, the guy had every right to be there. But if it is,
Right.
he probably shouldn't have been on the private road. So again,
Right.
that's the only reason I think she's freaking out like that. I'm not saying she's right, but that's why I think that's happening.
And if they didn't know they were staying there, they do now.
Yeah, that's the thing. She should have
kinda-
just went inside. Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
not saying she should have went outside and did it, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying I think that's why she did it though.
Yeah, she should have just went and turned around and went inside because now if they had any suspicion that they were there, they probably think, oh, well,
Yeah.
she-
Because
they're
what
here.
did that do either? You know, I
Yeah,
mean, that didn't
yeah.
do anything but make her look like a fool. So
Yeah, I mean,
but let's see.
so if they are staying there, people know now.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going through chat. I need to actually slow it down. I'm gonna do that real quick. I'm gonna slow down chat because it goes faster on StreamYard, I feel like, than it does
Mhm.
on YouTube. So let me see. I have another video I'm gonna pull up too. I'm just gonna do this really quick to
Okay.
slow it down. So message delay. I'm probably just gonna do like 10 seconds.
You think the road was public because it was paved and the other one going to the house isn't paved? Oh, that's a good.
Yeah, it might be. I didn't see if the road was paved or not. I just somebody that was again. They actually do talk to Amy Duggar, this channel, and they had said
Okay.
that road was supposed to be private. That's what this channel said. So, and they talked to Amy Duggar again.
Oh.
It's alleged at this point, but that's
Right.
That's what the channel said. Why she freaked out like that because it's supposed
Yeah.
to be a private road. I don't know
Yeah.
if it is or not. So, let me see. Does it automatically do it? Yeah, it does. Okay.
So that they must live in the area or in the same town that the in-laws live in. Kendra must live in the same town if she is there. If she's there with them.
Brainwashed since babies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, hello, how are you? I don't think I've ever seen you in my chat.
Yeah, I don't.
We met in a funny way. If he wants to share it, he can. I was like, I won't share
Okay.
it, but we met in a funny way. So it's good to see you. Thanks for
Yeah.
being here.
Yep.
But yeah,
Welcome.
we're talking
Welcome.
about Duggars. So let me see. I'm just going through the comments because they kind of sped up on me, so I didn't get to see a lot of
Yeah.
them. And then I'll pull up the second kind of interview thing that we have, little news clip. And there's probably a ton more too. So let's see. I am protecting children. Yeah, that was Tara's favorite part. I'm protecting children.
Yeah.
And she's got a bag of like baby clothes and a water bottle, shaking it
Yeah.
all around.
Yeah, that's why when me and Megan was talking, I'm like, what kids? She don't have any.
Yeah, I
Does she
don't
have
think
any young kids at home? And I didn't
No.
realize until just now that Kendra and the kids were staying there. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, that makes sense now.
Yeah, and I was going to ask Tara, and I don't know if anybody else in the chats know, what is the age of their youngest kids, Michelle and Jim Bob? The stupid last name too, you know. But just call me JB. No, call me Jim Bob.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. My name's Jim Bob. I hug my kids halfway because I don't want to get impure thoughts. Like, you know, like,
Right.
whatever,
Yeah.
dude.
17. See, that's.
So I think
Yeah,
they're
that's
flipping out on reporters. The mom flipped out, I think, a day or two ago. I think I saw it, I want to say this morning, but it was whenever, I'm pretty sure it's whenever Kendra got released from the jail is when that happened because
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's when it happened because they followed her back from there. But the guy was really respectful to her about it. You know, that's why I don't know why she stayed so upset because the guy wasn't like saying anything crazy to her. Like
No.
either way, I get, like I said, she shouldn't have went out there, but if she was going to, she, you know, should have calmed down after a little bit because the guy
And
was
he
really
also
nice to
didn't
her.
get out of his vehicle.
No,
He
and he
didn't.
was
He
really
never.
nice to her.
Yeah. Considering.
Yeah, I mean, calling her
Considering
mom, being real
reporters and stuff.
respectful.
Yeah.
And he got in his car and he left. Like he, you know, he left and he
Mhm.
probably didn't have to. You know, if it wasn't a private road, then he didn't have to.
Right. Yeah.
Yesterday. So yeah, I think it was yesterday that it happened.
Yeah. Because she wasn't. She didn't spend a day there, did she? Did she? How long?
I don't think it was. It would. No, I don't think it would have been a full day because it
Yeah.
would have just been a misdemeanor, and I'm sure they would have paid to get her out too,
Yeah.
pretty quickly. So
Our last three were born in 2007, 2008, and 2009. Okay.
the
Gee.
youngest, so 2007. Yeah, so they're all grown up, pretty much. I would think
Mm-hmm.
because Andrew's 18, and he was 2007.
Yeah.
She doesn't think the kids are there. Yeah, I don't know if they're there or not, but either way, that's what I was wondering too. You know, what if it's not her kids? What kids is she talking about? Because it
Yeah.
did look like baby clothes almost, and that I was thinking maybe grandkids possibly
Mhm.
because she has
Yeah.
so many of them. But
Yeah.
again, you know, they got locks on them doors from the outside. Then if them kids are staying there too, because they ain't gonna stop the training when it's their night tip for them to be there.
Well, they better take them off because
Yeah, well, that's what I'm sure they're panicking about. Yeah, she's probably
Yeah.
like, God damn it, don't come over here and record us. We're trying to remove all the locks and all the
Yeah.
other shit that we're doing. Get
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're trying to cover our ass.
Pretty much, yeah. And you're getting in the
Mhm.
way. Get out of here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Duggars
They
are
can't
weird,
leave
tragic
until
family.
yeah.
Very weird and very tragic.
Yeah.
And now it's unfolding for everybody to see.
Yep. And they can't leave till they're married.
Yeah. Well, and then what happened with Jana though? That she couldn't leave till she was maybe it was a choice, but 34.
Yeah, that's a little.
Especially when all the other ones seem to get married off before they even barely turned 18, 20 something. So why
Which
did
means
this girl?
is she going to have any? I mean, that's awful. If you want
Mhm.
kids, that's awful late to get started, I think.
Well, she just had a baby, I think. I'm pretty sure she finally did. But yeah, I mean, it's just interesting to me that she started her family so late when they seem to encourage all the other children so early on to do that.
Oh, really? Put Ronnie's comment up there.
Let me see. I'm still scrolling.
Anyone
The
can
blanket
enter
training
until
is beyond. Before that, I hadn't been sick for a while. I think it's 17. I'm yours. This comment, I'm sure the kids will be questioned.
No, all the way at the bottom.
Okay, I'm not. Hold on, I'm nowhere
Oh,
there.
you ain't made it that
Yeah,
far yet.
that's what I
Okay.
said. I like mine jumped up on me quick. I don't really know
Oh,
why.
okay.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to get there.
Okay, so Kendra's definitely there. So the kids are probably too then, if she's allowed to be with them.
I don't know if she would be though for those kind of charges.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think. I mean, if they were, then yeah, they're the ones supervising her, so she can be with her kids. That's how
That
that
may
works.
be it.
She can't be there with him by herself. So
Yeah.
somebody has to supervise them, and I don't know if they would, because of the situation, and if that's their beliefs. I mean, they can't really hand them back over to a family they think are going to lock them in the bedroom right back up again.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing about that. She's admitted to some of this stuff, whether they admit straight out to the locks or not. I mean, where do you think they're getting it from? You know what I mean? So they would have to almost go with the family. And since they're saying she was on that this thing happened on vacation with her family, I mean, what is the no contact order with her family? So that's what I'm saying. So I just wonder, what's going on with that. But so let me see which other ones I have lined up here. I didn't do too many of them. So Josh Duggar's family. We have his intake. See, I have Josh Duggar's interrogation audio that I wanted to eventually get to too, because there's a lot of stuff on that that's pretty interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of more bigger channels. I don't really want to share their stuff too much. So let me pull up some other article real quick.
Anna has maintained her commitment to Josh and regularly visits him in prison.
Rarely visits him?
Children. Regularly.
Oh, okay. Well, I also heard too this last time he's supposed to have got caught talking to somebody again. So supposedly too, he's been caught talking to two people even in jail behind her back on like, the phones and stuff he's been getting caught on. So that's what I feel. And I told Tara that I kind of feel like Anna is detaching herself from them mentally a lot. You know what I mean? And then they're kind of saying now too, recently they think allegedly that they bought her like a really expensive house. Like it could be like $1 million house almost. And I'm wondering if that's because again, of like everything that's happened with Josh, and it's a way to just keep her around, keep her quiet, and make it as, because I think that she'll still kind of present she's with him even if she decides to not really deal with him anymore.
Right.
Unless she decides to just break away from it altogether. But it would be nice to kind of see maybe Anna and Kendra break away from them altogether. And it will be interesting if he doesn't get life, what Kendra will do, because he won't be able to be around them kids.
Right.
So what's she going to do? She can't be with her husband then. And then I saw something too, where when Josh Duggar was on trial, that Anna left her kids with the Duggars to go stay with him under house arrest for a year. I thought that was pretty shady in the sense of like, you left your kids to go stay with your soon to be convicted child predator. And then she got knocked up by him again while that was happening.
Yeah.
So, and I get like they're brainwashed and all that stuff. I mean, I'll say that too again, but still,
yeah.
Your husband's on trial for child porn, basically. Again, I already started it. So yes, for CP, and you're basically leaving your kids somewhere else so you can go hang out with them and get knocked up by them again.
Yeah. Sad.
Anna stayed because she kept, yeah. And that's the thing. They have no financial resources. So she has, she has the kids and they don't know how to do any. Well, somebody said she tried to do a dog, like a dog business, where I guess she would sell different puppies. So I think she tried to do that for a bit, but I don't know how that went. Anna thinks it's Obama and the hacker's fault. Yeah. See, it's so delusional. Does she still think that? Like she's said that recently, or?
Oh my gosh.
Or when did she say that, I guess is a better way. Because that's just a baby number 8. Anna was? I didn't realize they had that many kids. Dog breeder. Yeah, so she was becoming a dog breeder. Yeah. Oh, close the door, please. Don't let bugs in here. He looks like a lizard almost. Might not let that thing in here. I'll freak out. Okay, so let me see. I think I'm going to pull up. Let me see. It says, who is next? I'm going to pull this up just because I'm curious.
Who is next?
Joseph Duggar, arrested. Former reality star charged with sexual abuse of a minor. In a shocking development for the Duggar family, Joseph Duggar, 31, was arrested on Wednesday, March 18, 2026, following allegations of unlawful sexual activity with a child. The former 19 Kids and Counting star is facing charges of lewd and lascivious behavior involving a victim under the age of 12, as well as lewd and lascivious conduct by a person 18 years or older. According to a statement from the Bay County Sheriff's Office, BCSO in Florida, the investigation began when a 14-year-old girl reported a series of inappropriate incidents that allegedly occurred 5 years ago. The victim told authorities that in 2020, while her family was vacationing in Panama City Beach, Florida, Duggar repeatedly engaged in escalating inappropriate behavior. The report details incidents where Duggar allegedly insisted the then 9-year-old girl sit on his lap and, in another instance, covered her with a blanket on a couch to rub her thighs and graze her genitals through her clothing. The case gained momentum on Tuesday when the victim's father reportedly confronted Joseph Duggar about the past abuse. According to the BCSO, Duggar admitted to his actions during that confrontation, which was also witnessed by a detective from the Tontitown Police Department in Arkansas. Joseph Duggar, a married father of 4, was booked into the Washington County Jail in Arkansas at approximately 4:00 p.m. on Wednesday and is currently awaiting extradition to Bay County, Florida. This arrest comes years after Joseph publicly condemned the actions of his older brother, Josh Duggar, who is currently serving a federal prison sentence for similar crimes. In 2015, Joseph stated during a television appearance that he was heartbroken and unaware of his brother's secret life. As of Wednesday evening, a spokesperson for the Duggar family has not released an official statement regarding the arrest. Joseph has been married to his wife Kendra since 2017, and the couple has largely remained out of the public eye in recent years, following the cancellation of their family's TLC programming.
The world is always turning, another legend in the making. They put the...
Okay. So that was the other one I found. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I don't think they're gonna be the last ones either at all. I do think that the rest of them, they'll probably have more charges coming out, and I think it's because they're probably going to start looking into other people in this kind of religion around them and the family. So, oh, is that it, Kendra? Okay, so that is that. And yeah, I was saying to Tara too, I don't think that Joseph will be the last Duggar either. I think there'll be more of them. So, especially because they had other charges come out of just the ones on Joseph alone.
Yeah.
So I can't see there not being more.
I can't either.
Yeah, because I mean, if it's them and it's this many and just this family, and there's so many people that are doing this religion around, I don't know. I just would think that it's going to start to domino effect. I don't see how it couldn't, because the world is starting to know. So
Yeah.
people are going to
There-
want things to be done.
More eyes on them now.
Right. So let's see. I believe. Thank you.
Ronnie's. Oh, a detective was present when Joseph
Yeah.
was confronted. No wonder the father didn't. Yeah. There
Yeah,
you
and
go. I was wondering why too. You know?
Yeah, and I kind of wonder about this too, running Grey Wolf. I feel like it's not just limited to one sex. How could it be? You know? So
Yeah.
the detective was present when Joseph was confronted. No wonder the father. Oh, okay. So that's why I didn't know that. Thank you. I hope Ellie does. Yeah, and I hope so too, because they should. There should be no reason to stop digging now, because now you
No.
know there's lots of problems.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there are so many. That's what I'm saying. This whole thing, they need to do what they did. And I don't know if it's the Jeffs or the Jeffs, but either way, what they did with that Warren Jeffs and threw him in jail and then broke up that whole thing, that's what they need to do with this.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to get it to stop. Because otherwise, like Tara's saying, they're brainwashed. They're not, they don't, and the women don't have any education. Like there was one video that I watched, or not an education enough to take off with all these kids and take care of
Right.
themselves forever. You know what I mean? Or they're not
Yeah.
ready for it. So they're scared as it is. And then they think that they're going to be like damned for doing it on top of it. because
Yeah.
they're going against their religion. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of thought that was, sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. They're in the back, Connor's in the background humming and singing. I'm trying to stay
And
on.
against the men too. They're not told not to go against the men also.
Oh yeah, so and that's what it was. So Anna was giving like, it looked like a speech, like how they probably do like seminars or something like that. And she was
Right.
basically, and it looked like she's talking to a group of women probably, or young girls, probably really young girls, and basically telling them like, well, I know in my basically talking about her own head, I always got fantasies going on, and we're always wondering about who we're gonna marry and how many babies we're gonna have, and if we're doing God's work or Lord's or whatever they say, Jesus, God, whatever they're into, if we're doing their work and stuff, and if we're sinners and this and that. And I'm like, I cannot believe she's up on stage telling these girls like, "Oh, I know we're just stupid girls and all we do is fantasize and all we do is want to be loved and pop out babies." And that's not true.
Yeah,
maybe for you it was, but so it's just weird how they even have seminars like that where they have a woman in charge of telling a whole group of young women that they're just full of shit in their head basically, and just go be a wife and don't hope to be anything else because you're not supposed to be.
Right. Don't set yourself up to be anything more than this.
Because you're not supposed to be anything else other than like a baby carrier and I guess a doormat for your husband whenever he wants it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let me try to see if there's anything else before, because I don't have too much else pulled up for this live tonight, because again, I just started binge watching them about a couple days ago, and I want to make sure I use again channels and clips that aren't going to get too many people.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because again, some people don't mind you using it, some people don't.
Yeah.
And some of them are very long. So those are ones I kind of want to look into on their own.
Yeah.
Let's see. But before, if I don't find anything else, is there anything that kind of like you just want to kind of summarize so far out of everything we got, just in case this is toward one of the last kind of videos we get to out of anything that they did or we talked about them tonight?
Well, just sitting and watching the videos, we have learned that what we didn't know before was that supposedly, allegedly, Kendra and the kids are staying with his mom and dad.
Yeah.
Supposedly, that's where we think they are.
Yeah.
So we think that she's there because of supervision. She has to be supervised. Is that what you're thinking?
Because this would open up a CPS investigation on her or whatever they call it in that state, because you locked your kids in, and that's so you would have to be monitored and watched, and then you would have to be cleared. So that's going to take at least 30 days. Most of those things are standard 30 days. But again, the person they leave them with has to be approved. That's why I wonder if they are there because of the situation with Joseph and it being his parents. I don't feel like they could be, but if they are, yes, she's more than likely being supervised by one of the adults in that house.
Now, if her parents are around, maybe they're with her parents and she's with his parents because she can't be with them.
Be. Yeah, that's about the only two scenarios I'm seeing, whether they're with her family or they're there with her, and they're being supervised all together. Yeah. But again, they can pop. I mean, they're going to pop up. It's going to be a 30-day monitor at the least. And then it's going to depend how her case goes too, I guess. I don't know what happens when you're actually charged kind of thing for stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
I know if they're investigating and stuff, you have 30 days. They have 30 days to investigate you. They can put you somewhere and you have to have a parent or a guardian sign off on you. So if anything happens, they're in deep shit too.
Yeah.
So,
and they said that the reporter followed her to her mother-in-law's house when she left the jail. So
yeah, because that's where they were coming from. And you know what was interesting? Even the car that they picked her up in, that Michelle picked her up in, it had bullet holes on it. I almost wonder if I could find it. Like, now that I think about it,
what?
It looked like it had bullet holes in the car, and and they look like big old bullet holes, like slugs almost. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, let me see if I can find it now.
Hi, Claudia.
Hello, Claudia. Welcome. Duggar.
No, it's okay. You're welcome in. That's all right.
I don't have everything pulled up either. I'm just kind of hopping around as things pop into my head. So
You
bear
saw
with
the
my
bullet holes in the passenger side running Grey Wolf? Yeah.
Yeah, there was bullet holes and they were big ass bullet holes. So I was like, what is going on with that's what I'm saying. These people are criminals, man. They're criminals, is what they
Whose
are.
car was it? Whose car was it?
It had to be theirs because Michelle's the one driving it. It's Michelle's car. Michelle's getting shot at.
Wow.
She's the worst out of them all, I bet. No,
Surely those aren't those stupid stickers.
oh yeah, right. I don't know. Let's see.
They do have those.
I know. I'm about to see if this is what. Because they, of course, they have a bunch of ones of them talking about her being released, but I wonder if they're going to show the actual footage of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did see it, but I wish I would have saved it. I didn't think about pulling it up to just
Hey,
show people the
Tony.
bullet holes in the car.
That's hilarious. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, man, I wish I would have. That's what I said. I gotta get used to like screenshotting stuff or automatically saving it because I watch so much stuff and I get lost track of it. I'll have to look for that one.
Yeah.
Because you see her driving and then they're talking about it looks like she's like trying to rub tears out of her eyes and there's bullet holes on the side of the car. I was like, how much of a more of a hot mess can this get? Like, to be completely honest.
I mean, at some point you're like, really? Is this AI? I mean, because at some point you're like, I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It was like, is this supposed to be a joke? Like, why? Because just say it is bullet holes. Why would you even go pick them up in that car? There was tons of other cars to go pick them up. I don't know. It's just really.
It would be interesting if it's not and it's just stickers. Why they would put stickers on there? That would be even
why
more.
She's cut off running Grey Wolf. Sorry, do you know why she's cut off from her parents and siblings? If you don't mind somebody dropping that in, because I haven't been able to find why if it's not related to this. But yeah, it could be the stickers. I just don't see them. I can't unless it's one of their kids' cars or something.
That's
like
what I'm
maybe one
saying.
of the boys. Yeah,
it would be more.
Cars.
It'd be more interesting to know why they have them on there because they just don't seem. I don't know what would be more weird because they just don't seem the type to do that.
No, they're they don't. But I don't know. Listening to some of them talk, they kind of are they from a South type area? Like originally, because they use y'all a lot. They have a lot of a Southern drawl at the stuff that they say, but I never.
I don't know where
the
19 and Counting was filmed.
Yeah, I don't
like where they base it because he was in Arkansas. Joe was.
Yeah, I don't know, but let me see. Yeah, I don't really see too. I can pull this one up from Kendra going to jail, but I think it's just the same one. I don't think it's her getting in the car. But yeah, I don't really see too many other articles. Does anybody else in chat have anything they want to say about the Duggars? Anything interesting?
She's not allowed to talk to her parents, from what I understand. So the reality show was filmed in Arkansas.
I think it was,
and that's where Joe was. Joseph was from.
Yeah, all of them are from Arkansas. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And I know some of the sisters they've grown up and they've moved off and stuff like that. I think like Jill's in California, but I don't know how much she is one that really talks to them too much. I think she wants to, but I think that they have like wedges between them for some reason. I haven't looked into Jill's relationship with them too much, but I kind of interested to look into that too.
Oh, that's right. Tonytown, Arkansas. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I didn't even know where that's at from me.
So here's 17 disturbing claims involving them. So we'll watch this one. It's about 20 minutes. Are you good for 20 more minutes, Tammy?
Sure. If
Okay.
my cat doesn't get all over the get off here.
I'll try not to pause it too much. I'm just curious what this one is because they 17. What does it say? Or no, 7. I'm so sick of this internet. I swear. It is. It's just annoying. Okay. Let me share screen again. Okay. In just a second. It's going to load. Tiny town. Yeah, I heard something like that too, but I don't know.
Oh, that's a good little ways for me.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like almost 6 hours.
Okay. All right. So here is this one. Let me pull this off the screen. And here we go, y'all.
After the bombshell criminal charges that were filed against two members of the Duggars this past week,
Yeah, that's what I keep
we are
hearing
now
there.
doing a deep dive into this clan and the dark allegations surrounding
good,
this
into the
reality
clan.
TV
All
star
right.
family. From molestation accusations to religious teachings to child pornography to now charges of sexual abuse and false imprisonment. Let's discuss. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Well, after the bombshell arrests of two members of the famous Duggar family, we decided let's do a full deep dive into the Duggars. Okay, what we know, the allegations, the past, the shocking details, that's what we're going to do right now. Because we know this comes after 31-year-old Joseph Duggar was arrested on a Bay County, Florida warrant on charges of molesting a then 9-year-old girl back in 2020 during a family vacation. He's been charged with lewd and lascivious behavior. This is molestation of a victim less than 12 years old and lewd and lascivious behavior conducted by a person 18 years or older. And then days later, both he and his wife, Kendra, 27 years old, were hit with charges out in Arkansas. 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor in the second degree and 4 counts of false imprisonment. They have 4 kids together. Now, if I had to take a guess at what happened here, we'll talk more about it. It seems that after those initial charges he's been hit with, they do an investigation, check in what's going on at the home, and something at the home is what spurred these new charges that are facing both of them. And by the way, when we talk about this show, 19 Kids and Counting, it had different variations of it, but it was a show that ran from 2008 to 2015. And that is when a dark accusation clouded over the show, led to its cancellation. And eventually we're even talking criminal charges that resulted. Now we're going to get into that more in a little bit, but I want to put all of this into context regarding the overall family in this deep dive. Now remember, this all started with Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, married since 1984. The parents on the TLC show, 19 Kids and Counting. Well, first it was 17 Kids and Counting. Then it was 18 kids in.
I don't think so, Running Gray Wolf. I think this was a friend.
The conservative Christian families' lives,
Well,
homeschooling.
I don't think they were
specialized
related
outfits.
to
It's a
Kendra.
whole different world. And yes, 19 kids, 10 boys, 9 girls, all named beginning with the letter J. It's a massively popular show, by the way. 2014, to give you an idea, this is the year before the show was canceled.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
close,
reported
man.
that the season premiere that year, at that time, averaged 3.29 million viewers. Think about how many people that is. Now, it's interesting. There was a documentary that came out a few years back on Amazon Prime. It was called Shiny Happy People, Duggar Family Secrets. And aside from the scandal,
We're gonna look at
plagued the
that
family,
too.
which we'll get into, one of the
What,
things
the
that
shiny
the
happy
documentary
people?
focused on was the teachings that motivated
Yeah, the
or
shiny happy
guided the
people.
family.
Yeah.
IBLP, Institute
They
for
have a good
Basic
stuff in
Life
that.
Principles. This was apparently led by Bill
It's on
Gothard, who,
Prime.
by the way, has been accused of sexually harassing and assaulting dozens of women, even though he's denied those accusations. But Gothard is a guy who preached to millions these teachings of a male-dominated life, religion, strict lifestyle, where you abandon, seemingly these vices like music and TV and dating and drinking. And the key here in the documentary was illuminated or illustrated by the co-director, Olivia Christ, who said that the Duggars were, quote, the front-facing image of this insidious organization, her opinion. So it really focused on fundamental Christianity, homeschooling, seemingly these cruel forms of punishing children, how others spoke out about the teachings, that the Duggars were used
know
as a
they are
way to
horrible, Chris.
normalize or clean up what this lifestyle was like. Now, Jim Bob, okay, we'll start with him. Former state legislator who at one point ran for U.S. Senate, also state Senate. People magazine reported that in 2020, him and his wife started flipping houses in Arkansas, not really in the public eye that much anymore. And it should be noted that as of 2024, they were grandparents to 33 kids, including 3 on the way.
Wow.
Pretty unbelievable. Now, speaking of family, here's what we got.
I agree.
Josh
That's
Duggar
what I heard. Running
married
Gray Wolf.
Anna Duggar, 7 kids.
Allegedly.
Now, things took a very disturbing
What?
turn when he was accused of molesting girls in 2002 and 2003.
Oh, is that Tammy?
Yeah. What did you hear?
Well, it was a family vacation. It was her.
Family
It was a family
vacation, yeah.
vacation with
Yeah.
with her family. So that's as much as I'll go into it, what she's saying. But yeah, that's what the vacation was supposed to be with her family.
But it wasn't a family member, right? This was
I don't know.
correct?
Yeah, it doesn't say because she's a minor or they're a minor, so they're not saying how they're related to them. They're just saying it was a trip with Kendra's family. So I just leave it at that.
Oh, yeah.
As
Okay,
per-
gotcha.
Yeah, so that's
Gotcha.
how. Yeah, they don't say anything else other than it was a trip with her family.
Including 2 of his own sisters. These allegations came out in 2015. He was ultimately arrested, charged, and then convicted, not for that, but in 2022 in connection
true.
with possession and receipt
Yeah.
of child pornography charges, even though that possession charge was vacated by a judge, and he was sentenced to 12 and a half years in prison. I'm going to
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit more, but that is a big aspect of this story. You have John David Duggar, his twin sister, Jana Duggar. John David married Abby Grace Burnett. They have 3 kids together. Jana married Stephen Wisman. They have 1 child together. Jill Duggar married to Derek Dillard. They were apparently set up by Jim Bob. 3 children together. Sadly lost a daughter in a pregnancy complication. By the way, here's something to note. Jim Bob and Michelle's 5th child, Jessa Duggar, married Ben Seawald. They apparently met through courting, so you're going to hear this sometimes. And the best way to describe it, I think, is the way Jim Bob had described what courting is. Quote, courting is getting to know each other in a group setting, both families spending time together and the couple setting goals together to determine if they're meant to marry. With dating, a couple will often pair off alone, and that sometimes leads to a more physical relationship. It's a little bit of difference there. 6 kids together, by the way. By the way, Jill and Jessa also starred in their own show, Jill and Jessa, and then another show called Counting On that features other members of the Duggar family. You have Jinger Duggar, married Jeremy Wola. So you're talking ministry work, courting, 3 kids. We talked about Joseph and Kendra. We're going to get into a little bit more about their charges in a minute. You have Josiah Duggar, married Lauren Swanson, 3 kids. Joy Anna Duggar, 9th sibling, married Austin Forsyth, 3 kids. Got another pair of twins, Jedediah and Jeremiah Duggar. Jedediah married Katie Nakatsu, 4 kids. Jeremiah married to Hannah Wisman. Her brother is Jana's husband, as I mentioned before. So they have 3 kids. Jason Duggar, 12th child, married Maddie Grace. James Duggar, the 13th sibling, not married as of yet, not publicly courting anyone as far as we can tell. Justin Duggar, married to Claire Spivey. Jackson Duggar, 15th child. Johanna Duggar, 16th child. Jennifer Duggar, who was at one point the baby of the family, born in 2007. And then you round it out with Jordan Grace Duggar, born in 2008, and Josie Duggar, born in 2009. All right, real quick, I'm sure you've seen all the headlines about how so many Americans are struggling with debt right now, right? But then it shows up in your own numbers with rising balances and fees.
I would skip through this, but
Yeah.
my internet
Doesn't
sucks, y'all.
stay that way,
So
though. Today's sponsor
we're watching the
Yeah.
advertisement.
That's okay. It'll be all right.
They shouldn't be mad if we're using the advertisement for them too.
Credit
That's
cards,
right.
personal loans, bills,
Should
PDS
get
Debt
them
has
lots
customized
of-
options to help you pay off
Group
debt fast.
dating. Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like, don't it?
Lots of commission for Law Crime Network.
Help put money back where it belongs.
Right.
In your Also, A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Yeah, every month you wait, it's going to cost you more, but your way out starts right now. When the numbers are
I
clear,
don't know why I got it mixed up that
take back
Jill was in
control 30
California for
seconds,
some
get your
reason.
free
I forgot who
personalized
said that. I think
assessment,
it was
and the
running
best
Google. I
option
thought
for
she
you
was in
at
California. I don't know why.
Well, who wouldn't? There's only 19 of them.
PDSdebt.com/sidebar, PDSdebt.com.
Hard to keep them all straight.
Yeah, I
But I
guess
gotta go
that's
back
it.
to
I'm
Josh.
trying to learn all their names.
Josh,
Yeah.
back in 2015, released a statement to people regarding these molestation accusations. He said, quote, 12 years ago, as a young teenager, I acted inexcusably, for which I am extremely sorry and deeply regret. I hurt others, including my family and close friends. I confess this to my parents, who took several steps to help me address the situation. We spoke with the authorities, where I confessed my wrongdoing, and my parents arranged for me and those affected by my actions to receive counseling. I understood that if I continued down this wrong road, that I would end up ruining my life. Now, it was reported that Jim, Bob, and Michelle, the parents here, knew about this, knew about Josh's allegations of molesting his own sisters. And in fact, Jim, Bob, and Michelle said in a statement at the time, Josh has resigned from his position at the Family Research Council as a result of the accusations becoming public, but his family has stood behind him. There was reporting that Jim Bob and Michelle knew about Josh's allegations of molesting his own sisters. And now that leads to a statement that they put out. That, quote, back 12 years ago, our family went through one of the most difficult times of our lives. When Josh was a young teenager, he made some very bad mistakes. And he was
Jana,
shocked.
like-
We tried to teach him right and
Yeah,
wrong,
yeah.
dark and difficult time caused.
J10, it's your turn.
Like never before.
Hi, Chief. How are
Triple
you?
J.
Why you see
Right.
accusations like this within the IBLP movement.
Chief.
Heather Heath. who
You're
is
late.
an
No, I'm just kidding.
ex-IBLP member,
You're late.
You
You're only
can't
person
exist
that
without
pissed
being
at. You're late.
accused of
Dang.
to attack you. And then there was this statement from Josh Pease, a pastor and journalist, spoke out in the series. The Duggar family is not a bizarre fascination. It is a horrifying glimpse of a story that was told over and over and over again in so many different families. And you know what else happened? The two sisters who were accused of being molested, Jill Dillard, Jessa Seawald, they identified themselves as the ones who were abused. They spoke to then Fox News' Megyn Kelly. Jessa said what her brother did was very wrong, but that the reactions against him were going too far. Quote, I do want to speak up in his defense against people who are calling him a child molester or a pedophile or a rapist, some people are saying. I'm like, that is so overboard and a lie, really. I mean, people get mad at me for
What?
saying that, but I can say this because I was one of the victims. Now, Jim Bob had apparently admitted at one point that he had placed
Okay.
safeguards on to protect his daughters from Josh after what he found out what had happened, but it wasn't foolproof, saying nothing ever happened in the girls' bedrooms after that. So he had safeguards that protected them from that. But there was another incident, two different instances where girls were laying on the couch. Now, 19 kids and counting.
So then he
was
should have been
taken off
removed out of the
air
house.
after these
Yeah.
accusations.
Should have been removed out of the house first
And at
time.
one point, the police report was made public by In Touch back in 2015. And reportedly, Josh, when you look at this report, reportedly, Josh had confessed to his father multiple times, 3 separate occasions. And the revelation that the Duggars allegedly waited at least 16 months before reaching out to authorities. And In Touch discussed that the reason for there not being charges in connection with this was that there was a statute of limitations issue, that this ran by
Yeah, there it is.
2006 when the investigation started, and that Jim Bob
And they knew that.
They knew
could
it.
have been
Yeah, they
criminally
waited.
charged and faced
Yep,
charges
that's why they
in
waited.
prison for not
Father
doing
like
anything.
son.
But
Exactly.
again, nothing
Mhm.
resulted. And when you look
Apples
at the
don't fall
wording of
far
the
from the
report,
tree
it
in that
apparently
kind of
says, quote,
situation.
James said
Yep.
that in March of 2002, redacted Josh, who had just turned 14, came to him very upset and crying. James said that redacted Josh had told him that he had been sneaking into redacted his sister's room at night and had been touching redacted his sisters on the genital areas while they were sleeping. And the report details that Josh went from sister to sister, stating apparently all of the girls were sleeping in a common room.
Mhm.
And then you go to what Josh was ultimately convicted of.
Yeah.
So this is from the ICE website, how he was sentenced to, I mentioned, over 12 years in prison without the possibility of parole on one count of receiving child sexual abuse material following an investigation that was conducted by the Homeland Security Investigations of Fayetteville. And it goes to say, quote, according to court documents and evidence presented at trial, Joshua James Duggar, 34, repeatedly downloaded and reviewed images and videos depicting the sexual abuse of children, including images of prepubescent children and depictions of sadistic abuse. In addition to the 151-month sentence, Duggar must serve 20 years supervised release, register as a sex offender, and pay $50,000 in fines.
Okay.
Duggar, a former reality television personality who appeared with his family on the TLC series 19 Kids and Counting, installed a password-protected partition on the hard drive of his desktop computer at his used car lot in Springdale to avoid pornography detecting software on the
Just
device.
like Don
There's
Will.
a knowledge component.
Mhm.
He then
Yeah.
accessed the partition to
that one,
download child sexual
Mhm.
abuse material from the internet multiple times over the course of 3 days in May of 2019. Again, goes to a lack of accident. The password for the partition was the same one he used for other personal and family accounts. So you're seeing how it's tied back to him. Duggar downloaded the material, used the dark web and online file sharing software, viewed it, and then removed it from his computer. Law enforcement in Arkansas detected Duggar's activity during an undercover investigation involving the online file sharing program, subsequently searched his car lot in November of 2019 and seized Duggar's desktop computer as well as other evidence. Significant evidence was found that pointed to Duggar's presence at the times of the offenses, including pictures that Duggar took on his phone that geolocated at or near the car lot. so really identifying him as the one who used these devices. Duggar also sent multiple time-stamped text messages to various individuals that indicated he was at the car lot at the relevant times, again, tying to the access. The messages were sent and the iPhone pictures were created at times within minutes of when the child's sexual abuse material was downloaded or displayed on the desktop computer. Additionally, he was the only paid employee on the lot at those times. On December 9th, 2021, a federal jury in the Western District of
like that's what
Arkansas
he was going to try to
convicted
say.
Duggar of receiving
I
and
felt like
possessing
he
material
was
depicting minors engaged.
I felt like he was going to try to say that somebody else at the dealership, because he was trying to get it overturned. Like I said earlier in the live, I felt like that's what he was trying to go down the route of somebody else downloaded it on the computer. But since they have it that he's deleting it, it shows you he does it all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
probably learned that from his daddy, in my opinion, too.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
In church class, Bible study.
Conduct. And again, he's now serving a sentence at a low security facility out in Texas, set to be released in 2032. Let's go back to Joseph and Kendra, okay? Full circle. March 18th, the Bay County Sheriff's Office announced that they were charging 31-year-old Joseph Duggar, again, the Duggar's 7th child, with lewd and lascivious behavior. Joseph and his family, wife Kendra, the 4 children, they were living in Arkansas. The Sheriff's Office said in a statement, quote, on March 18th, 2026, Bay County investigators were contacted by a detective with the Tontatown Police Department regarding a report of past sexual abuse. The 14-year-old victim participated in a forensic interview where she disclosed several incidents involving Duggar that occurred during a family.
I'm going to ask Tara about this real quick. Tara said that the church put the software on there and it was supposed to send a message to Anna and inform her if he looked. So Anna knew he was looking at porn.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he went to the dark web. So that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, what the?
Wow. So she knew he was doing it.
If he was looking at anything like that. So they knew. Yeah, she knew then too. And then she was leaving her kids there for a year to go stay on house arrest with them and get knocked up by him again before he went to jail again.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there you go.
Family vacation in Panama City Beach when she was 9 years old. According to the investigation, the incidents took place in 2020 while the family was staying at a residence on Danny Drive. The victim reported Duggar repeatedly asked her to sit on his lap. As the vacation continued, he also asked her to sit next to him on a couch and covered them with a blanket. During this time, Duggar manipulated the victim's underwear and grazed her genitals. Duggar would also continue to rub his hands on her thighs. The victim stated Duggar eventually apologized for his actions and the incident stopped after the apology. Investigators discovered the victim's father confronted Duggar about these incidents on March 17th, 2026. Duggar admitted his actions to the victim's father and to Tontatown detectives. Duggar was arrested out of state and charged with lewd and lascivious behavior. Duggar is currently awaiting extradition to Bay County. Now, regarding that alleged admission to the detective and the victim's father over the phone, Joseph also allegedly, quote, admitted his intentions were not pure. That's according to the affidavit. If that's true, if that can come into evidence, that is a strong piece of evidence, particularly when there might not be forensic material, right, or video footage, but you do have the account there and now an apparent admission. By the way, I did a whole episode about this with Dave Arenberg, former Palm Beach County State Attorney, about what defenses could be mounted, the strength of this case, what we should be looking out for. You can check it out. It's on our Law and Crime YouTube channel. But the video from Washington County, we have this. It kind of gives us a bird's eye view of Duggar getting booked, the angles of officers searching him, getting his information into the jail system. Take a look.
Anything on you in the city of Pokey? No, that's all. And pocket, what do you have that's missing? Oh, sorry, I thought you said if I had anything on you. You said not in my pockets. I mean, yeah, you got somewhere else. All right. Any injuries? Well, I don't have anything to train you. You've been here before? Not this side. Look, I think I got my brother went to school for getting police staff training. Oh, yeah. Got pepper sprayed out over here. Oh, really? Yeah. What's that name? Duggar. What did you tell? He was gone before. He was doing training? Yes. He did part-time at Tontatown.
Crazy. So I had a question then. If she knew he was doing this and it was CP, how can she? Okay. She would have had knowledge, correct? Tammy? Oh, anybody in chat? I don't care.
Yes,
If
I'm
she,
sorry. I didn't
okay,
realize
no,
I
you're
was
good. I'm
muted.
just like, again, my mind's being blown by this. If
That
she was aware, wouldn't she have known he was looking at CP?
yes, she had to have.
And even if just say it was split and he was going to the dark web, he was only showing her the non-CP he was looking
Why,
at. I
why was
doubt it.
why was the church sending her an alert when he got one?
How was the church in on this knowing too?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why are you being alerted when the church sends a you shouldn't have to be alerted if the church just wants to send you an email, they can send you an email also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Michelle Duggar is the one that bailed her out.
Yeah.
It's weird how all these male. That's what I said earlier. I don't think you were here yet. I think they're inbred, Wolfie. I think they're inbred because they sit there and make sure that they get with the same, religions and the same whatever. And this is probably the same gene pool that they've been dipping out of for the last 20 to 30, 40 years.
Mhm.
They all look alike. And I said it to Tara too. Look at their bone structures. Their noses, and some of them remind me of pug noses. Like, like the
Yeah.
inbreeding where the noses are flat.
Yeah.
Because they look like they got really bad nose jobs, some of them. And they look like that very young on. And I'm not trying to put nobody down. I'm just saying
Right.
those are signs of inbreeding. They all look alike. They all got the same Teletubby glossy eyes. Like they have the
Mhm.
same hairlines, the same eye color. Like I just it's too identical for them to go, oh, I met somebody from 7 states over, but we look exactly alike, and all of our kids look alike. And I don't know. Again, I think
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
inbreeding. This is what a lot of this perversion is.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Yeah.
So yeah, but their noses all look funny and their bone structures because it's inbred,
Mhm.
in my opinion.
Breathing too close. Yeah. Yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah, in my opinion.
That's right.
Freedom of speech. No, I'm just kidding.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, whatever
That's
else
right.
I got to throw in there.
Amendment. Mhm. We'll find an amendment to throw in there.
Yeah, like they do.
Mhm.
My religion. I can say whatever I
Mhm.
want.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure. You don't have to tell me anything you know today. I'll go with that, okay? Yeah.
You might like it, your behave. No, she couldn't see it because of the web. Supposedly she got nothing. The church already knew and installed the software.
So the church knew he was doing it? Or no? I'm still kind of confused on that, I guess. We'll talk about it in a second. Hold on.
While this was going on,
That's what I'm saying.
days
I'm
later,
confused with
what
all this,
happens?
like,
Authorities in Arkansas
pedo,
announced
inbred,
that Joseph
Bible
and his
studying,
wife,
thumping bullshit
27-year-old
going on. I don't know
Kendra,
which
were
way I'm
hit with
looking.
charges. The Tontitown police said on Facebook, as a result of the continuing investigation, additional charges have been filed in this case against Joseph Duggar and Kendra Duggar. Arrest warrants have been
they should be
issued and
charged too in
served
the church.
for the following misdemeanor offenses through district court. Misdemeanor, not a felony, right? Max sometimes 1 year in jail. So it's a lesser crime, but still a crime nonetheless, or alleged crime. You have 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor, 2nd degree, and 4 counts of false imprisonment, 2nd degree. And this remains, and they indicated that this remains an active and ongoing investigation. By the way, I should also tell you that Arkansas law strictly limits the information that may be released in cases involving minors and other sensitive circumstances to protect the integrity of the investigation and the privacy of those involved. No further details will be provided at this time. That's the point. What led to this, right? So Kendra, we know, was released on bond, but why these charges? Well, here's the part. Law enforcement hasn't said for sure what led to this. I've just mentioned why. However, there was an alleged source, apparently close to the family, told People magazine that it had to do with the locks on the kids' doors in the house. Quote, I can tell you the arrest was a result of a home inspection and the door locks being on the exterior of the doors. The spokesperson for the family said that what Kendra is being charged with is totally unrelated to the felony charges that Joseph faces in Florida. Having said that, it does make me wonder if because of him being charged there again was an investigation to see what was at the house. The spokesperson told People she's not suspected or accused of participating in his alleged crime. Now, there have been some statements from the family. For example, Jinger spoke out about the arrest on her Jinger and Jeremy podcast, saying, it has been such a long week. It's been one of those weeks that feels like years, and I did not think my heart could break like it has this week. The pain and heartbreak that we've had over this, and just thinking of how it's affected so many, it's just unthinkable, so hard and painful on many levels. Jill Duggar and her family spoke out on a Dillard family blog saying, we were shocked yesterday evening to learn of Jill's brother, Joseph Duggar's arrest. We are shocked and heartbroken. The message continued, we strongly condemn abuse. We support the rule of law and hope that justice will be achieved. Our hearts go out to the innocent juvenile victim of this unspeakable crime and her family. We pray God gives her strength, comfort, and hope, and that she's able to get all the help and support she needs and deserves in the days ahead. Joseph's older brother, Josh, who I talked about before, apparently spoke out about the situation from
He's a
behind
fine one to
bars
be
through his
talking.
attorney told Us Weekly.
he
Josh
should've just
Duggar
kept
does
it to
not know
himself.
the details of the claims
Yeah.
that have been made against his brother Joseph, but he knows the media frenzy that any incident regarding his family creates. He feels for his brother because everything is amplified out of proportion by the media interest in his family. This makes the pain of the criminal justice process exponentially worse. Josh prays for his brother and he hopes that he can stay strong. He too has felt the crushing wave of accusation that is powered by the media
Accusation, but it's downloaded on his stuff.
Subjected.
Yeah,
Mr.
it still
Joseph
can't accept
And the
what he
church
did.
elders,
Extradition.
and the church elders had it on his computer to automatically tell them. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised they had, because Tara said they did it after he confessed or whatever. They put all that stuff on his computer to be able to tell. So it's like they were just monitoring this like freak for years. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. You have to monitor a full grown adult too, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, the blanket training, they were raised the same way. And that's what I was saying. Like, if you look at some of the books of what the girls have released, and I'm not saying anything bad about it, I'm just saying they're still implementing this training in different
Mhm.
ways. They're just doing it a little different and they're talking about it a little different. Now,
Yeah.
if you're grown and if you were raised that way, I understand that like they don't know any other way, but they know it's wrong. That's all I'm going to say.
Right.
They know it's wrong, so they should still
Right.
be doing it. So, and I think that's why a lot of them are quiet. And I don't know which ones, so I'm not going to say which ones. I don't know
Yeah.
enough about the girls to say anything like that. But all I'm going
Right.
to say is they're talking about it. The ones who have had books, and I can't remember all their names off the top of my head, but I will get to it at one point because I'm going to save everything. They talk about the blanket training in their books and things like that, how they kind
Yeah.
of use the same tactics on their children, just a little bit different. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, I think there's like, there's 1 minute, not even 1 minute of this left. So they
Okay.
probably are going to close it out.
He headed to Florida to face those felony charges, and this is according to the Washington County Sheriff's Office. We'll see what comes next. But that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for
Remove him off the screen. So yeah, so there. So that'll be the last one that I share for tonight, so I can go Duggar dumpster diving some more for the next.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably way too long. I don't need to be
Yeah.
there, but I'm gonna because I'm just weird like that. When I find
Yeah.
something I want to look into, I will.
That's
So
right.
I'm gonna keep looking at stuff on them because again, I want to do like a progression of when we kind of started hearing more stuff about Josh when he got arrested, what happened with him. I have his interrogation saved, and then we're gonna keep going from there and just kind of adding on because there's a lot of stuff here, and then I want to get to some point at the shows where you see some of what's being said about the training and things. Then I want to look at, even if you can see on the show, I want to start looking at the doors. I want to see if you can see that there's locks from the outside or if there's screws, like holes in the doors where you can tell they're
Yeah.
taking them off for the
Yeah.
cameras because they had them, or that's why they had such a big house too. I get they had a
Yeah.
lot of kids, but you
Man,
didn't
it
need
was
3
huge.
houses put together.
No, that thing was huge. I don't
So-
know. Has anybody in chat seen the house?
It was all over.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
all
it's
over the
huge.
first few seasons, or maybe it's not the first few seasons because it happened later on into the seasons where they built those. I believe it was 3 houses that they put together and it made this big house. But
You're
I
talking
think
about-
that
You're talking about the
Duggar's
one-
house. Yeah.
Which the older
Yeah, like they had moved and made this big house like a couple seasons in.
Yeah.
Discovery Health is the one that paid for the house. They said they paid for it, but they didn't, of
Yeah.
course. the network paid for it, and it was supposed to be 3 big houses put together or something like that, if I remember right. I was watching it at the time. I just stopped watching it. Someone else said it too. As they had more kids and more kids, it didn't become as interesting. You know, I mean, well, how many times are you gonna watch them keep popping out all these identical kids? You know what I mean? They all wear the same clothes and do the same stuff. But yeah, I was thinking that, you know, if they had those 3 parts of the house, maybe one side of the house had the locks and the other side didn't, depending on what they're going to film on. But I really I wanted to start looking through it and just seeing what these people's rooms and stuff look like from the outside. Things like just little things that they say. But
have you seen the house that
No.
Joseph and Kendra, the greenhouse?
No, I haven't seen that house.
It's huge.
Is it? You've seen it?
Yeah, because they were out in front of it. I forgot what channel it was that showed the outside. I think it was a news report. Showed the outside of the house is huge.
Yeah. Well, I would think most of them are. Again, I can't see them really going backwards at this point and going for anything less. You know, and I think that as long as they stay in line, they do help them. You know what I mean? Or they kind of keep them, you know, submissive in a way, you know, give them enough to keep them quiet, just like anything else when you do that. Just like I think it, you know, allegedly, like what Tara and I were looking through, we're thinking possibly that Anna has this big house. It could be almost worth $1 million, and it's been recently given to her. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm looking more into it. If it was, though, I think it's like a hush gift. You know, like all the shit that Josh is pulling in prison, and she probably wants to get away from them because they've gotten into an argument with her family and she did leave the compound after that argument. So I want to do a whole thing on just her because I feel like she is getting sick of that family. I feel like she just is taking because I mean, what else is she going to do? You know, they give her a house. I mean, she's got those kids, so why wouldn't she stay there? But I kind of feel like she's detaching herself from that group mentally. So it would be interesting to see. And that's why I want to see what happens with Kendra in this charge and what she's going to do. Because if he doesn't get life, I don't think he's supposed to be allowed around his kids when he chooses to get out. Or when it's time for him to get out. But can't. Right. So what is she going to do? Is she going to do what Anna did and leave them with somebody so she can go live with her husband? Or is she going to leave her husband and do the right thing and break the whole cycle? So I'm going to be interested to see.
And he's going to have to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. So,
Yeah. So that's something that she's not going to be able to get around. And she's going to be watched for the most part until things calm down, even if she does get cleared. So, yeah, I have to look at their house. I didn't see their house.
If it's the one that they showed recently, it's green. I think it's green and white.
She said it's a 2-story house. So,
yeah, it's huge.
Let me see. Is Kendra's house her house or the Duggars? Yeah. And then Tara even said when they first moved Anna, and they made it sound like they were going to move her onto a compound. Like they had her in like a warehouse or something like that. They didn't even have her in a house. And that's why, you know, we were talking about maybe this house was a thing to finally like please her because they did get into an argument and a fallout and she left from that dwelling or whatever. But I do wonder if that had, you know, something to do with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Had a kitchen. That was huge. Yeah. The whole middle of the house was a kitchen and sitting area pretty much. Just the middle of the house.
Yeah.
Of the Duggars. So I have to see what season it is, Tammy, and I'll let you know what season it is. Or I'm sure I could just find a clip of it and I can just send it to you. But yeah, their house was huge. And they told me, like, yeah, we paid for it. We put it together. No, they didn't.
But they don't live in it now.
I don't know. If somebody knows in chat, I kind of think the Duggars still might live in that house, like the mom and dad, but they might not. Because again, I don't know how, because they say their property is a compound and it's huge. So I don't know. It might be, they might have tons of houses on there like that.
Yeah.
And then they say too, that when Jana was living there, allegedly, until she was 34, everybody kind of made it sound like, well, you know, they were taking care of her and things like that. But I saw something where she wasn't supposed to be even living in the house there either. She was supposed to be staying in some kind of little RV type thing on the back of the property that didn't even have like a full-fledged kitchen or bathroom.
What?
So that's alleged too. But, you know, I'm going to keep looking for that stuff.
Right.
I want to add, because it does matter. It does matter if they're doing these things with their kids like this, especially when they had them all on TV telling them that this was basically like a charity thing for the church. And that like they weren't getting no money from it, but they were getting money for all the kids too. And they basically were pocketing it all. And then when they got old enough to want their money, they basically like had to get lawyers to try to get their own money back from them because they wouldn't give them any like settlements. And then when they did, it was basically coming out to minimum wage for all the time that they worked on that show as children and adults.
Oh.
So yeah, they're scamming their own kids too.
Yeah, I was going to say that, and that's old as.
And they stole their
you know.
whole childhood. They stole
Oh.
their whole childhood, making
Yeah.
them on camera be mothers, and that's what they're saying. They don't want you to look at them like that, but they're, what is it called, parentification or whatever? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's what they're doing to them. They're making them behave like parents, but then saying don't look at them like adults. They're saying biggest mind fuck ever.
Yeah, I mean
Disgusting ass
that's
people.
That's you know, how many child actors and actresses got ripped off by their parents?
Oh yeah, poor Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
Shirley Temple.
Yeah.
Like all of them, millions and millions of
Gary
dollars. Like Shirley
Coleman.
Temple. Yeah, Shirley Temple. I think I watched that recently, and she only had like 44,000 left out
Yeah.
of her 4 million.
Yeah.
And like almost the same thing with Macaulay Culkin's parents, because then when they went and got divorced, they used all his money to
Yeah.
fight their battle to get
Yeah.
a divorce.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see how these parents do that.
Gary Coleman did get some of his back, but not
There's
all
not
of it.
much. Yeah, and by
No.
the time they pay out their fees and stuff, there's
Yeah.
nothing left. Yeah, Anna lived in a
Mhm.
warehouse, and it was supposed to be a really shitty rundown warehouse. And after she sat there and took all them hits for their son, they stick her in a warehouse
Yeah.
with her kids, in a warehouse that, like Tara said, it didn't even look like it could be inhabited.
Yeah.
And they have the money to not do that. But
Yeah.
just handing out giant homes. Yeah, because now they're probably, and that's another thing I wonder, are they buying all this property because they're worried their money is going to get taken in some way because of something that's happening right now, as
Mhm.
far, not just the legal stuff, but because of everything that's coming out. What other things do they have their hands in that are dirty, that's connected to money? Because it's not just this way. They ain't just ripping off their own kids.
Yeah.
They're doing it to other people too. So and go through the comments. I think I'm almost through them, and then we'll kind of sign out, y'all. But thank y'all so much for being here. This was a great
Yes.
chat. I really did
Yes,
enjoy it.
yes.
I've been wanting
Yes.
to talk about it forever.
I know. That's why when I told Megan, I said, "What are we talking about tonight?" She said, "The Duggars." I'm like, "Nice, let's go."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just because, again, it's one of those things. It's just, they push it in our face forever on
Mhm.
TLC, and this
Mhm.
just little behaved and perfectly put together family. You always find out it ain't ever that, ever.
Yeah. No, because I never did get into watching it. I mean, I heard of it and I seen it. I seen it advertised on TLC, just like Little Big People. I seen it advertised and stuff, but I never watched any of those reality shows like that.
Yeah. I was young when it came out. So I was born in 86. So when it came out, like I was about probably maybe going into middle school. So I watched it because I don't know anybody with families with 19 kids
Yeah,
or 14
yeah.
or whatever it even, I think it was like 14 when it started off, to be
Yeah.
honest. But yeah, like I started watching it, and I watched it again for a few years, and I thought it was really cool. And like, oh, look at all this whole family, and they're all so
Mhm.
sweet, and they're all so loving, and they're all so helpful. And you find out, no, it's not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Abusive,
Yeah.
pedophilic behaviors running all through it.
Yeah.
Like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to raise their siblings, and that's abuse.
It can't be all that good.
No, it's not. And this is all, again, a group of, and I want to say men, but a group of
Mhm.
individuals who created a religion, manipulated a bunch of weak-minded people into it so they could make them their servants. Basically, that's what these women
Yeah.
are. They're servants to these disgusting, twisted men who have these nasty ass desires.
It sounds like a little bit of the most backwoods or old timey ways. It's like they took each religion and picked the oldest thing that they used to do back in the day and combined them all together.
It's almost medieval, really. Like, how
Yeah,
can
I
you,
mean,
in the sense of like, how can you tell someone like sister or anyone's victims, like, oh, well, he was just making bad decisions and he, said sorry
Yeah.
to God or Jesus or whoever, again, they worship. And so now you have to
Mhm.
forgive him. And if you don't, you're going to go to hell because, again, stealing a piece of gum is exactly the same as
Mhm.
him touching you there. So if you want to get upset about it, then you're the problem. You know what I mean? Like, that's just,
So what to me is kind of scary is if this is no big deal, what is a big deal?
that's what I'm saying.
Or is anything a big deal? in
Because
your religion?
if that's not a sin, then murder's not a sin.
Right. I mean, what is a big deal to you in
Nothing.
in
Nothing.
this?
They can do
Exactly.
whatever they want and
Yeah.
just say sorry. That's what I'm saying. No, 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 no. No, that shouldn't be allowed no more. Absolutely not. Your religion doesn't give you a right to touch somebody. Your religion
Right.
doesn't give you a right to lock kids in rooms. Your religion
Right.
doesn't give you a right to any of that. I don't give a fuck what you believe in.
That's right.
So
I agree.
But
I watch the Duggars because I like watching large amounts of food they would make from scratch.
yeah, that was one thing I liked looking at their pantry.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it was like a grocery store, you know. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that would be cool just to
Right.
walk in and like grab whatever you want and things like that. But again, probably fucking using food stamps for all
Can
them
you
kids, just
imagine?
batting them.
I can't imagine shopping for that many kids.
No, no,
I
thanks.
can't. I can't.
It was called Little Women.
Yeah, Little Women. Yeah. 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 I just didn't get into it because I'm just,
Yeah, well
'cause
now you know. Yeah.
I hate the reality shows because they're not reality shows.
No,
Not
they're all
really.
staged. They're all
Yeah.
staged. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
again, because even though they tell you this is their belief, I think the adults are full well aware that that's not
Yeah.
an acceptable. You know, they know they're manipulating their children. They know they're manipulating the rest of society to make them think they're not perverted and abusive, but they are.
Yeah.
So, you know, so they all know they're doing it too. Just like Michelle Duggar knows exactly that.
Yeah.
She knows they're abusive and perverted. So
And you have to put, and with those shows, they had to put drama in there to keep people watching it.
yeah.
I mean, that's why Duck Dynasty, and I know because I'm an hour from where Duck Dynasty lives, all of the Robertsons, I live like an hour from them. And they quit doing Duck Dynasty because they wouldn't do the drama. They wanted them to do drama. Like they wanted them to fight amongst themselves. And they wanted them to not pray at the end of every show. They didn't want them doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And Phil Robertson said, no, that's not how it is.
That's how they built their dynasty.
Yeah.
Was
He's
on
like,
praying and believing
Yeah.
in God and doing the
Yeah.
right things.
yeah. He said, no, we're not going to do that. So you can take your,
Yeah.
you can take your show and keep it because that's not us.
Yeah, and they still
Yeah.
do well, the kids, and do their own things. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
have to like
Yeah.
sell your soul and sacrifice your beliefs to get
Yeah.
popular. And if you do, then it's all going to go to hell in a handbasket like it's going for them right now because that's just, you can't do that shit.
Yeah.
You can't.
You see them riding around in town every once in a while when I go to Monroe, I see them, but
Yeah.
yeah, not often, but I'll see them passing or something, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're still there. They're still there.
Gus loves the tater tot casserole. I love
Okay.
tater tot casserole too.
Now
I
we're
don't play
talking
them.
about food. We got on food now.
Did they make tater tot casserole on there, Tara? I'm pretty sure they probably did.
Hey, there is no telling what Miss K, all the stuff she made on there.
I love tater tots. They're really good. I love them more from like at school though. I feel like they're extra good when you used to get them at school.
So what's sadistic? I wouldn't be so. You have to kind of be a little messed up like that to look at CP, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course you are. We can, Claudia. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to put like different clips together because it would probably mostly be copyrighted. So I'm gonna try to see like which channels have used stuff, and I'm gonna try to cut them up and put them together, and then we'll stop. We'll have to pause quite often, y'all. So
Yeah, we will.
I'm gonna let y'all know that ahead. We can watch shows and things like that, but we're gonna have to pause it probably every 5 minutes, have a little bit of a discussion, and then go back into it
Yeah.
because we won't be able to that way.
Yeah.
They can rather kill the live while it's happening if they really find you're doing it, or they just can delete it after and it won't matter. So
And YouTube has changed. Like, I know somebody that got their monetization taken away because the way they were doing videos before was fine, and they just kept doing that. And then when YouTube changed their rules or their way of us uploading and doing things, they did it the same as they've always done, and they demonetized them because you can't do that anymore.
No.
So you got to be careful in how you do stuff now because they've changed.
Yeah. That's
way
the
you do
only
stuff.
thing on here. I'm not someone who worries so much about like the censoring words. Sometimes I'll throw
Right.
one in there because automatically have been doing it out of like routine, but like I'm kind of breaking that. I don't really care for the censored word. I think it's stupid. So the only thing that I don't do so much is, again, I'll have to cut up stuff and use it, because that's the only thing I know you can really be hit for on your channel is using somebody else's stuff.
Yeah.
So and because those are shows put on there, TLC and them can hit me for it. So I definitely won't withstand TLC coming down on me for sure.
Yeah, no. You sure don't.
But I will find a way to do it. So what I'm probably going to do too is I'll cut it up, put it together, upload it, let YouTube run it, and then it'll tell me what's good out of it and what's not. And then I can also alter it that way too.
Yeah.
So we'll work on it. We'll get it going.
Yeah.
But so, but yeah, I do want to do, whenever you're again free, Tammy, I want to do Sebastian's live still for Sebastian Rogers, and just kind of update that for the kind of some of the searches and photos. And I need to get with Kylie again to see what videos it was too. Other than the search, because she had emailed me about a couple other videos. So I'll get with you on that, and then I'll post the link about 24 hours before, y'all. So be looking out for that. And then you said the next one we're going to do is going to be kind of just the paranormal kind of looking stuff on yours, or
for the looking glass, I thought we would do something a little different. So if you want to. We can do readings too. We don't mind doing readings, but if y'all want to do some paranormal, we can talk about some of that, some haunted cemeteries or prisons or whatever, whatever y'all want to talk about. If people haven't put it in the comments, then we'll just get together and think of something to go with. Yeah. And we'll talk about it, because I want to talk to do some like black-eyed children. I want to do talk about maybe the Mothman. I'd like to talk about there's a couple of other cryptids I'd like to talk about. So the black-eyed children are really interesting, and there's so much on them. So I think they'd be interesting to talk about, but we can always just talk about, like Penhurst, or we can talk about,
I think the haunted hospitals are really cool.
And we can do that too. We can do the haunted hospitals too. Yep.
Yeah.
We can do those.
I think those are both great. Prisons and hospitals are always good ones for lots of activity, just because there are, so much shit is going on there. But have you heard of the Pittmans? I haven't.
I have not.
We'll have to look into that one next.
Yeah. Is that a reality show?
It sounds like it. Yeah. She said the wife passed away giving birth. She had cancer. I remember watching one, and I don't think it's the Pittmans, because this was long time ago, but maybe it was. But there was one where a lady who was pregnant, and she had passed away after she had the baby because she had cancer. I don't know if it's the same one though. I don't think it is, because it was just one episode. What I saw.
Oh, yeah.
This sounds more like a series. What they're talking about. Tater tot with ground beef. Yeah,
they're still talking about
the recipe. I mean, it does sound good. I mean, as screwed up as they are, I bet the tater tot casserole is probably good.
I could not eat that. I couldn't.
You don't like all the meat, yeah.
Well, I don't like. I can't eat have the evaporated milk.
Oh yeah, that kind of stuff is getting harder on my stomach.
Yeah, I can't
have as much heavy stuff like the tater tots, the meat, and the milk. Yeah, it's a little bit.
Yeah, that would be
and cheese.
Yeah, I can't have dairy.
Yes, and
I can have dairy, but I'm lactose intolerant. So
right.
Yeah.
So please, haunted. Okay.
Yes, we will do haunted.
Got it.
We will do haunted. We will, and
you won't be able to shut me up.
And
that's okay.
I know Mandy has some good cemetery stories. So
great.
She can come up and tell some cemetery stories. She used to go this girl would go at 3:00 in the morning by herself to cemeteries. I don't know how I would be scared to death to go. I wouldn't mind going, but I would not go by myself.
Yeah, I saw one where a guy went to the killing fields by himself, and it was weird because when he first got there, it was just like, it was creepy feeling even through the camera, but all of a sudden, like this fog and mist just came in that wasn't there, and like you almost couldn't see nothing, and like he took off out of there real quick. That's another one. I'll try to find that one, because this was years ago, but I thought that was really interesting that there was nothing there, and then the longer he stayed there, all this mist came in.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you would be live, Mandy. She would be live when she would do that. But I'm like, nope. Nope. That's not being not alone, not alone for me. I would have to have somebody physically there with me.
Yeah.
But what you just talking about sounds good, Megan. We can look at that.
Yeah, that'll be good. I'll try to find it. It was years ago, so I'll look for it. I don't remember whose channel it was, but I mean, there's not, I imagine, too many killing Joel investigations uploaded on. I don't think so. Maybe on YouTube.
Yeah.
We'll find out though.
Yeah.
Frito pies. Those are good too.
They are.
Those make me think of the ballparks.
It's an older reality show. Okay. All lived in the what? The family and wives all lived in the same house and built a home with sections for each family. No,
I'll have to look at that too. Like the sister wives. That's another thing I want to get into.
Oh man.
For some of them wives. Like, come on, man. Y'all all like, especially Christine. Christine gets on my nerves on sister wives. Like, quit your squawking, lady. Like, you were the third wife, and then you expected to be respected the most out of all of them.
Yeah,
like, it's just, girl.
Listen, you put this is self-inflicted.
Yeah.
You put yourself here.
Yeah. And like, I mean, given he's a dickhead too, and he's stupid. But like, y'all willingly married this dude, knowing he had wives, and I just think it's crazy that they all complain about not getting enough attention and not enough whatever later on. Well,
no.
What'd you think was going to happen, ladies?
Self-inflicted is what I'm saying. You put yourself here. Don't come over here, and just complain and gripe.
Yeah. If you go on, that's no problem.
Really?
Oh shit! Your cat's like, get off the computer. We're going. Don't worry, kitty.
You know what he did was he got in my purse like he did my computer bag, and he jumped in it, and he fell off the thing it was sitting on, and then he fell on the ground, and he drug it through halfway through the freaking shed because it's on his back. Now I
like
got
Rex gets on this like TV tray that we have, but it doesn't have legs in the front. It's like a gravity balancing tray or something. But he always does it only when there's stuff on it, and he gets right on the edge. And I'm like, and I don't want to be like, no, because I'm scared he's gonna like jump off all of a sudden. So I'm like, Rexy, like, come on, Rexy, let's get down. Like,
oh my god, yeah. And it's the tab. It's always the orange kitty. It's always the ginger kitty. It's not the other two. They're not even over here. I don't even know where they're at. But he's over here destroying everything.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Tammy. I guess we'll kind of log out here. I caught up with all the comments, but
sure.
Like Chief said, yes, welcome everyone. We're signing out now, but welcome and thank you for joining us. And hopefully, you know, y'all will like and subscribe for more chats like this in the future. And we will see y'all then, and y'all can join us then.
Yes, please.
Alaskan Bush people, not yet, but just that name alone makes me want to look. I don't know if I'd want to be called a bush person.
Oh, they live in the bush, I guess. Live in the ice, live in the I couldn't live out there like they do either. I never got into that one either, but
I heard of it, but I never got into it.
I didn't either. Just another reality show.
Yeah, there's so many of them.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, I love you, Tammy, and thank you
I
so
love
much
you
for being here.
too.
This was great. And
Thank you for having me.
everyone. Yeah, of course. And then thank you again, everyone, for being in chat. And then again, I will upload that link for Sebastian about 24 hours before, and then we will see you on Tammy's for some ghost hunting.
That's right. We will have fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, I love you, my friend.
Love you too. Talk to you later. Bye,
All right.
y'all.
Bye. Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.